Welcome, Ultraers, Switchy Sisters, and Danonites alike to episode 62 of the weekly episodic gaming-adjacent livestream podcast show. This is Switch to Ultra, the penultimate Tuesday, and we have had a week of competitive controversy, services shutting down, and I wanted to start this pod by exclaiming that for the first time in the pod's history, we have only double-digit days left until the release Grand Theft Auto 6, thinking that that would be the only footnote on that game, only for several files of footage from an early build of the game to leak out via a group of meme coin hackers an hour or so before we went live. But obviously, I am not touching that. I am your co-parent BHultra, and joined by my forever...
And your co-parent Switchy.
Exactly, my forever
and I'm
parent.
Your Uncle Dan.
Well, and we have begun the
sorry.
podcast an hour later tonight so that we could reunite the trio. After only 1 week off, I'm here with my buddy Dan.
Damn. I messed it up. I'm sorry. I'm leaving forever.
This is what really strikes the heart of the show. That's how we fell apart. We had a falling out at E3. And
It happens every time.
Yeah, we do it every year. That's what we should do, is fall apart every year and then come back together for reunion shows. This week also featured Disney's D23 showcase, which showed off some footage from the upcoming Kingdom Hearts game slated for allegedly late 2027, which is a game none of our regular hosts know anything about. So we got to call in our favor with good friend and Kingdom Hearts expert, special guest, Man of 1,000 Thoughts.
Hey y'all, Man of 1,000 Thoughts here. How y'all doing?
From his own streams and shorts and videos as well. Friend of the show, friend of the pod, friend of the everything. Obviously, there's other stories throughout the week. We talked about it last week, that the release of, and this is just a personal vendetta I have, that the release of Super Mario Sunshine on Nintendo Switch 2's GameCube Online, I've been seeing increasingly more and more clips of a new subsect of people playing Sunshine for the first time and posting clips about it and being like, hey, I keep clipping through this wall. Hey, my camera keeps getting stuck. Is the game always like this? And I've been seeing some real funny arguments about it. The more and more, I know I'm just like catastrophizing, but the more and more I think about it, the more I really do not like that game, and I'm growing farther and farther. I saw another post of like somebody clipped through a wall, and then a response to it is like, oh, well, you think clipping through a wall is like annoying and not funny? It's kind of like a fun little thing, don't you? Like, and like that is true to a certain degree. Sometimes you're playing a game and a glitch happens and you throw up your hands, you're like, video games. But when it happens as consistently as that game does, it starts to weigh on it a little bit. But
yeah, no, that's like a cope, is that it's like, oh, well, I mean, there are games where I'm like that. I'll defend shit people hate about Earthbound. Like my life depends, like my life depends, and I'll defend like the monkey maze. I'll defend like the game waiting, like making you wait for 3 minutes. But like when you're saying like, oh, bro, like the clipping out, the fucked up collision, that's like part of the fun. It's like, I don't know. I could go without it.
I had only played like family-friendly games or like Nintendo games, so I didn't. And I know that some of those games are messy a little bit, but I had like no actual relation to glitches. I had seen like people doing Pokemon ROM hacks and getting bad eggs online. I was like, whoa, that's so scary. Glitches are like Sonic.exe or whatever. And then when I had the Xbox One, I played my first Bethesda for the first time, and I played Fallout 4, and that was around the same time I got like Goat Simulator, which was like, oh, that game is like purposefully stupid and super ragdolly, and I would play it and I would be like, oh, it's like silly that like you keep clipping through stuff. And the Xbox One had a built-in clip feature, and because the Kinect was always hooked up to it, you could just out loud yell Xbox record that and it would clip it, as opposed to just having it tied to a button, which it is now. And I remember when I was playing Fallout 4, I clipped through a wall. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. I've never seen this before. Clip it. And then it happened again. And I was like, okay, yeah, clip it again. It's funny. And then it kept happening. And at a certain point, I'm like, I don't need to keep clipping every time this happens.
Yeah, maybe
like,
this isn't
fun
and
anymore.
Crazy. Maybe this is just par for the course.
Yeah, maybe that just is a Fallout thing.
Yeah, I'm someone.
It definitely is.
When it comes to glitches, for me, I've kind of. It's funny, like we're in a post Wreck-It Ralph world to kind of contextualize glitches in a way
where,
it's like,
it physically hurts them.
no, it's like in a sense where it's like, okay, yeah, certain glitches in games are fun if it's like, okay, it's a goofy little thing, it doesn't mess up anything, it's just like a little fun glitch here and there that doesn't stop you from progressing. But if it's shit that's like, oh, you just fell through the floor and now you can't even you can't get to the next level or some stuff like that, like you can't progress, then yeah, that's where it's like we got to talk about what game quality, bro. At that point,
I
like,
remember. I felt.
It's funny. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go first.
I was saying, because you were talking about how like people are rediscovering how like terrible or how janky Mario Sunshine is. And I like seeing the clips of that, but I will always think back to when they re-released Pikmin 1 and 2 and seeing everyone's reaction to how not fun Pikmin 2 can be.
Right.
And how much of how just genuinely frustrating that game could be. And that legitimately cracks me up. And it's so funny too, because now with this specifically, you technically could always play Mario Sunshine on the Switch, but now everyone can play it. And now with the added benefit of save states, which Pikmin 2 did not have that luxury.
Right.
Do you think those games in particular will eventually be added to the GameCube service, or do you think they're going to keep it as a separate purchase? Because that raised a lot of questions earlier this year when they released Fire Red and Leaf Green just on the Switch as its own thing that you could buy on the eShop, and people assume that it's not going to be added to the Game Boy Advance Online for that same reason.
Well, that's a good question, because remember, there was a leak a little while back for GameCube Online, specifically for Pikmin 2 and Metroid Prime 2. So I have to wonder, or I don't know if it was Pikmin 2 or Pikmin 1, but the point is it was one of the GameCube Pikmin games.
Right.
So I think we'll probably see it soon. I mean, again, we had Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy. There's now multiple ways to play all those games on the Switch.
And you can play Galaxy
I'm
too.
Sure. Exactly. And now I can play Galaxy 2, the better Galaxy game. So,
That's what I've heard. But I remember I felt like I was going insane because everyone swears by Battle for Bikini Bottom. And, like, that's a game that a lot of people grew up with. And I thought while I was streaming, okay, I'll, like, play the 3D SpongeBob platformers in order. So I started with the first one, which is Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. And it came out, like, during Season 2 or something. Or maybe later Season 1. And I had heard nothing but good things about it. And when I played it, it was like a mess. And apparently
Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, it's bad.
Apparently
it's
the
bad
GameCube version is normal, but the PS2 version I played is like famously not. And you know me, like in 3D platformers, I like to, especially collectathons, I like to collect everything. And I got down to the very end. And there was like a couple, I don't even remember what the collectible was. There was a handful of things missing. And I just kept retracing my steps over and over again. And I couldn't understand what I was missing. And then I looked into it, and it's like, oh, yeah, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes they just disappear, and you can't collect them. So I just didn't get to. As far as I'm concerned, I 100%ed that game. Because I did everything I physically could do. It was out of my realm at that point. I
think, admittedly, a pet peeve of mine is when a game makes you do shit twice.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm playing Majora's Mask for the first time, and there's like one side quest to get two masks.
You got to do that shit more than twice.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, because the thing is, you're constantly resetting. And I mean, ideally, if you do things, in the optimal way, you don't often have to do like the same shit twice, although sometimes. But there's this like whole ass side quest that takes place over the 3 days that you have to end it one way to get one mask, and you have to do it all over again and end it another way to get another mask. Right. And that's like always just. That's,
you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
We kind of talked about that last week in reference to Three Houses, I think, right?
Yeah.
Good story though. I do like that.
Yeah, no, I was like talking shit to my friend. Not really. He was like telling me because with Three Houses specifically, he was saying that he thinks like Edelgard is his favorite. She makes the most sense. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think there's an interesting dilemma there. But I asked him like which versions of the game he played, and he said he only played Edelgard's route. And I'm like, well, I don't blame you for that, but like the game's kind of expecting you to play all 4 routes and do the 200 hours and shit. before you like actually know like all the key details of the plot.
Dude, that's
which,
my fucking thing with Mario Sunshine is that, like, I know I've been harping on this for weeks now, but like 100%ing it is so obnoxious. And anytime I brought it up, yeah, whenever I brought it up to my friend who loves the game, it's like he always said like, "Oh, but yeah, you don't have to 100% it." And that is technically true, but why would I not want to do that?
That's like a weird gamer psychology thing. I think there was an interesting talk about it, I think, with Metroid Prime 4, where there was like a critique of just there's too much shit to scan. And it's like you don't have to. Well, actually, they do kind of troll you with these missable scans, but like theoretically, you don't really have to scan everything. You can like win the game without doing it. But it's like the fact that it's there like irks me because I kind of want to do it, even though it just like ruins the pace of the game for me.
Right.
And I'd probably enjoy it more if I didn't care about the scanning.
And as far
it's like
as
this weird, like, you know, you control the buttons you press kind of dilemma.
Right. And as far as, like, you know, stuff you have to keep going back to do, Sunshine has so much of it where you're better off not picking up any blue coins on purpose so that you could look up where they all are later. Because if you don't, it doesn't tell you how many you have or which ones you're missing. So you have to just do all of them anyway and hope that it's ones you haven't. I'm done talking about Mario Sunshine. We got to talk about some new games. Okay, so Disney held their D23 event. And outside of the realm of games, we got a handful of announcements. I believe the proper casting of Marvel's X-Men that they now own all the rights to and are going to be doing in theaters. And then everything else outside of Gato, I think, was a sequel, right? It's like The Incredibles 3 and Coco 2 and Frozen 3 also, I think. Yeah.
Wait, really? I know about Frozen 3.
None of those things I'm particularly excited. I like all of those movies, but I understand The Incredibles 3, but the idea of a Coco 2 is really funny to me.
Dude,
considering the proceedings of that movie.
I think everything just looks like AI to me now, because I saw the Coco 2 thing, and I'm like, either that's AI or it's like an old school, like that Elsa and Anna, like.
Dude, I was gonna say, it looks like that image of the Shrek family where it tries to make them look Dominican.
We need this version of Frozen, like.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard. Like, I'm not. I think like on some level, like AI is like rotted my brain to the extent that like I don't know what looks like normal concept art or like promotional art for a movie anymore. You know what I mean? It's like you see. I don't know. I remember like that Rosalina leak. That fake AI leak for Rosalina in the Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah. And like it looked close enough. It's like, okay, that's probably what she's gonna look like, even though it ended up being fake. You know what I mean? So everything's just fake to me now.
I missed the No Way Home leaks with the Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Those were fun.
That's kind of why I don't want to. I mean,
not hold it.
From like a copyright standpoint, I don't want to cover any of the GTA stuff, but also like it might not be real. The only thing I'm going to say about it is I've said on the pod before that I worry that a new GTA game is going to lean more into realism than like the absurdity, because GTA 5 controls like a very arcadey style GTA, and it's very silly. Like in single player, it has a dedicated ragdoll button. It's like the platonic ideal of Goat Simulator. And I honestly didn't like a lot of the immersion stuff in Red Dead, like that you have to clean your gun or else you miss on occasion, and you have to like feed your horse. Like that's well and good in certain games, but like for a specific linear experience like that, it kind of weighs on it.
That takes me out of it. I wouldn't. That's the reason why I didn't even bother with Red Dead 2.
Yeah, and
I played a little, and I was like, "Oh, it's that type of game." Goodbye.
Yeah, the main thing I clocked in the leak
balls
is that
are getting smaller.
Right. That's how you know the game has soul. But the one thing I clocked in the leak is that it seems that underneath, like where it lists your car above the map, it seems to have like a fuel meter and like a little gas can above it. And I hope it's fake, because the concept of needing to fill up your gas tank in GTA, that's fucking preposterous to me. At what point is immersion gone too far where it just isn't fun?
Now it's going to be like every time you steal a car, it's going to be on E, basically, or almost on E, and you're trying to get away from the cops.
There's a gear shift minigame.
Oh, God.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah, GTA, to me, I grew up with GTA in a weird sense of played it over my friend's house because I wasn't allowed to play M-rated games for a minute.
Of course.
And then eventually was able to, buy them. And the first one I got was GTA 4. Played that with friends. Then, we get to 5. And 5 was fun, but then I realized getting into once you get to the multiplayer and everything, it's like, oh my God, we're just driving around blowing each other up and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not much else to do in this type of thing, and it kind of made me realize like, oh, Grand Theft Auto really is just like a collection of other games and their mechanics more than it is like it's a good tech demo of what's been coming out in gaming, but in terms of like its own thing, it's like, damn, this has a limit. There's a limit to this, isn't it?
There was another piece of the leak is it started out with Jason shooting baskets into the basketball hoop. And like it wasn't like a mini game. I guess that's like a part of it. And people were freaking out like, oh man, the bouncing technology on the ball. Like, man, this is how you know it's a next gen game. People want to live in GTA world. Well, before we get into these, I guess I would say one video game announcement at D23. There's actually been a week of Kingdom Hearts stuff. But on top of that, Kingdom Hearts, the footage shown off is the only official announcement. But apparently, allegedly, if I want to check this over here on this strange website that it sent me to when I tried to follow the link, is that apparently asked if there'll be another Simpsons hit and run game, Matt Groening says, I think the original game is coming back in some form, and then pauses and then says, or not. And then, I didn't include this either, but I think, I believe it was She Says of Boundary Break, quote tweeted it later and said like, oh yeah, I like, because earlier in the year he hinted at a game coming back that he wasn't allowed to say, and then he implied like, oh well, now they said it officially so I can say it too, I also heard this. So it might have something going for it. And I know that this is a game that people have been clamoring for a remake for a long time, and that's all well and good, but I feel like I'm kind of just burnt out on the concept of game remakes and game revivals.
Sequel, damn it. Give us a Simpsons sequel where you can go around in full open world Springfield and let's walk into some of them stores, okay? Not
remake
all stores,
the game exactly, but just remove Apu. Don't change anything else. That's the one thing they're gonna do.
I was gonna say, how are they gonna do that now that Apu doesn't exist anymore?
Well, Apu was in Fortnite, no, wasn't he? Or a picture of him? Or maybe
there's a picture of him. That doesn't mean that he can talk.
Oh, see, like it's a weird in-between period where if the Apu documentary had happened like a couple years later, they would have just recast him as like someone who matches the ethnicity. But because it was kind of the first stone thrown, they just immediately, okay, I have no dog in this race. I don't watch nearly as much Simpsons as I do like the other animated Fox shows, but I know that this is different from the likes of like a Rayman Legends remake, and I love Rayman Legends because this is one that people have wanted for a very, very long time. But again, I did not grow up with this game. I honestly didn't grow up with any of the Simpsons games. So the idea of it coming back in some form, that could mean multiple things. But I think realistically, it's probably just a remake, right?
Probably.
Possibly, yeah.
Did you guys see the...
I mean, at the same time, I don't know. It could be a remake, or they're trying to prepare a new game for, in time for the movie.
That's true. You guys see the title of the movie?
I forgot there is the movie.
Or did you see what they changed the title to?
Oh my God. Movie.
Yeah, the new Simpsons movie, and it has the little new Super Mario Bros. New logo above it.
Oh my God.
It's awesome. I love it.
Funny.
It better. I'm hoping that plays into something in the plot, or otherwise.
Oh, we saw. I forgot. We saw the Bluey movie shown off.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of hyped for that.
I heard that people were mad about it because it was like 3D and not 2D.
Yeah,
dude,
parents are hating it.
I was imagining it to be just like a classic like TV movie where they just kind of shade the characters.
Yeah, the fucking Peter
just
Griffin
like,
image.
Just shade them. That's all you have to do. For some reason, I was expecting that, but I guess I honestly understand the pressures that Bluey's a big enough show. They kind of want to, just make it 3D animated because that just seems to be what they see. They like. I don't know how consumers actually think about this, like your average consumer, but it does seem like there is sort of a belief among executives that 2D animation is something that's not worthy of like the theater. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I agree with that. I think that's just kind of it just seems like 3D is just I don't know. It just seems like 3D is worthy of like motion picture, movie scale, and 2D is just something that is for TV. I don't know. That just seems to be, you don't see a lot of 2D animated movies these days, at least not in the theaters.
It was a bigger deal to me like a decade ago with the likes of the second SpongeBob movie, which was honestly like 90% 2D animated anyway. The bit where they turn into 3D superheroes was just used in all the trailers so they could be like, look, it's a 3D movie. But after the likes of like Spider-Verse and the Lupin movie and the Peanuts movie, I think for the most part that there's a lot more you can... I'm not saying you can do more in 3D than you can in 2D. I'm saying there's more you can do in 3D than you could like a decade ago. I think that it can be more stylized.
Yeah.
It's definitely improved. The idea of like if Bluey was a cartoon in 2015, 2016, and they showed that off, I would probably be way more annoyed by it. But one, I'm not really on the Bluey train as much as other adults my age.
Grown-ass adults.
yeah, parents and whatnot. But also, like, I think it's probably fine. I don't say I liked the latest SpongeBob movie, but I liked how it looked for the most part. Like, the concept of a 3D animated SpongeBob movie in 2015 made me shudder at the thought. But in 2025, it's basically okay. Yeah, I remember being mad at the time. They should have done that with the new Simpsons movie. What if that's what the new is? Is that, like, after the first act, they all become 3D like that one couch gag?
Oh, man.
You become real live-action people.
I think that would piss a lot of people off if it's like the second Simpsons movie and you made it 3D.
Mm-hmm. Well, the technology has changed. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people clamoring and complaining about the new Bluey thing. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go against the grain here. I think I said it when it happened. I didn't really understand the Shrek outrage last year. I remember hearing about it, and I remember, like, the teaser and people over and over saying that, like, oh, dude, Shrek looks so awful here. Like, you look so ugly. But maybe I don't have an eye for those things, but I thought it looked pretty indistinguishable. Maybe he had a less furrowed brow. But to me, it just kind of seemed like they updated the models due to the passage of time. But what went down with it was kind of nuts, where they wanted to do like a Sonic the Hedgehog thing where they're like, if we bully them enough, they'll change the design. But like, it was not that bad.
It was.
I don't think it was that bad. I think I will say I can understand the critique that they sort of, I would say, softened the edges, made Shrek a little bit cuter. Because I think like the original Shrek, there was sort of an embrace of like shit that was stilted and ugly, to the extent that it wasn't just like, early 2000s 3D animation jank. It was a thing they kind of leaned into, and
it was like an anti-Disney movie.
Yeah, and because of, and I think that they sort of softened some of the edges with like the new Shrek movie, to the extent that I can understand why people take an issue with it. But I mean, I'm not particularly passionate about, like, I'm not bothered by it personally.
Right. I think I just liked Puss in Boots so much that I have the utmost faith in them. Not so much for the concept of a donkey movie, but, if they can make it good, they can make it good. That one kind of just feels like it's appeasing Eddie Murphy. Because I remember there was, like, an interview quote a while back where he was like, oh, there's a Puss in Boots movie, why no donkey movie? And then, like, a year later, a donkey movie was announced. And it feels like they didn't have an idea first. The idea was to make a donkey movie. And I just think there's more you can do.
Eddie Murphy to be sad,
Yeah, he's been through a lot already. People didn't see Coming to America, which is the sequel to Coming to America. Well, let me ask you, our special guest, Man of 1,000 Thoughts, what is your relationship with the Kingdom Hearts series?
I pretty much grew up with it all the way from the first game, so I've been with all the ups and downs of it when it comes to, like, we were eating pretty well with the first two games, and as well as like Chain of Memories on Game Boy for those who played that version. But then we had this long gap between the second and the third game, and in between we get these little other games, these in between games that sort of bridge the story or try to bridge the story a bit.
Yeah.
you know, and between 2 and 3, and it's like we get them all across different platforms. You get some games on PSP, some games on DS, some
On
games
the
on
Nokia
3DS.
phone.
Yep, some Nokia phone shit.
Yeah, and it's all canon.
Yeah, but it's all supposed to be canon, and it's like, I played a bit of the DS games. Most of them sucked.
Interesting.
The only ones that was really good was Dream Drop Distance. That one was fun because it managed to try to recreate the regular formula, at least with a few like tweaks here and there, and streamlining the gameplay for DS. But like the best one probably would be, or portable one would probably be Birth by Sleep. That was on PSP. But that all you had all this stuff that just makes the whole story convoluted as shit, and all while the big tie-in is just it's Disney meets Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
So
I know that the main 3 games, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, are Final Fantasy meets Disney. Do the spin-off games also have that same connection, or do they just like feature those characters that were already in the 3D games?
Huh? Sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh yeah, sorry. That was a very roundabout way of saying it. So the idea with the main console games is they introduce characters. You got your Cloud, your Sephiroth, and your Donald and Goofy. Obviously, those are like main characters that come back in multiple games. But the ones on the PS2 and like 3DS, did they have new Disney worlds, or were they more tied into their own continuity?
Well, yeah, that's sort of the thing. In the early parts, the Disney worlds you would go to, it was like sort of original stories that with these familiar characters you go to, right? But as the games went on, they started doing more recreation of the movies. It's weird. Like most of the time, you would be Sora, Donald, and Goofy traveling to say Alice in Wonderland. And you're not exactly going through the story of Alice in Wonderland. You're going through a different sort of story and trying to find Alice because she disappeared. Because it actually connects to the bigger story going on in the first game. It's like that's the whole reason why they're going around the world to all these different Disney worlds. Certain characters start going missing even. It's like I said, their own original stories. But then by 2, they do keep that up with the whole original stories in each different world, but you start certain levels, they try to mix it in with the mainline stories in the movies. It's like, wait a minute, wait. Now you're telling me, Mulan was able to beat the Huns with the help of this random dude and a talking duck and a dog. Yeah. It's like, okay, I guess we're trying to write, fan fiction now.
The idea that the general is upset that she's secretly a girl, and then meanwhile, like, Goofy is just standing behind her. It's like, do you not have you don't have a problem with this?
Exactly. They don't. It's like they don't look out of place to y'all.
I've definitely seen clips of like the 3rd game where Frozen is just happening, and then like Sora, Donald, and Goofy are just standing off screen. Did you play the 3rd one? The 3rd one's the most recent one, right? And that was like a 2018, I think.
2019.
2019.
It's the latest. It's the conclusion in the whole trilogy of the mainline games.
Okay.
Like, in the main arc. And yeah, I played that shit, and it's one of those things that weirdly enough it was rushed, even though we were waiting so long.
The last game came out on the PS2. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, damn, y'all had so many years to build this game up. You finally announced it in 2014, with the PS4. Then it doesn't come out until 2019. At the end of the PS4's era. It's like, damn. And so we get to that game, the 3rd one. It's like you start feeling like, y'all were kind of rushing through this because we're really just going through the motions as we go through the worlds. Like, y'all aren't tying back to the main story or anything. It's like, yep, there's these bad guys on the loose in these worlds doing some things. We don't know what they're doing. We just know they're evil in those worlds. Go stop them. It's like there was a purpose before. People were getting kidnapped,
right,
or we had to stop like Heartless and such. But now we're just showing up just to show up.
So you couldn't just play 1, 2, and 3 and understand what's going on, right? Like there's additional homework in there with the other games that I think have all been ported to the PS4.
You could get, I mean, especially now with the way Kingdom Hearts, especially Square Enix, like made it so it's easy to access everything now, especially with all these collection games that sell for about one game anyway.
Right.
So it's not hard to keep up with everything. It's just, it's a lot to have to look into. That's really it. Like once you get everything, you're like, okay, I get the allegory and what these characters represent. It's just so much to get through. It's said in such a very grandiose and fairly convoluted way. You know?
Yeah. What I obviously I haven't played the game, so all of it's like secondhand. But to my understanding, what I thought was going on at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, because it seems like the third one is the end of that trilogy, and then the story will continue, but that was like that main story. Is that, I don't know if this is a major spoiler, but what I thought happened is that Sora kind of awakens in a world separate from both Final Fantasy and Disney, a more like urban environment. And I thought, or what I had heard was the implication is that like, oh, and this is going to move Kingdom Hearts into the future where it will sort of become its own thing with its own characters. But from the footage we saw at D23, which is also very funny given the context of it, which has footage of Sora Kingdom Hearts going to the dead world from Coco.
Yeah.
Which is funny. There's not a whole lot of context. Sora just has to end up where the places are. And this seems like another example of the movie happening.
Yeah,
and then
Sora just
the Heartless
up.
just
Like
show
he's right
up.
in the background,
Yeah.
just shows up.
That's
Like-
awesome, actually.
Yeah.
So-
I'm hoping like with Kingdom Hearts 4 they make it tie in a bit better than how they did 3, but it is like just that idea of them just recreating Coco already was like making me side eye.
How many like new Disney worlds are there on average in a Kingdom Hearts game? Because I know that 3 had Frozen and Toy Story, and I imagine it had more than that. But
Oh yeah, it did. They tend to be good on adding worlds, but sometimes there could be a few repeats. But those repeats more happen in like the first two. Like
Yeah.
we get Aladdin and what do we get?
you could tell it's
Aladdin,
a series from the
sometimes Beauty and the
2000s
Beast.
because they keep going back to Pirates of the Caribbean world.
Yeah, yeah. That was one thing that's like it was cool. Y'all added pirates in the second game. I ain't need them back in the third, especially if you were just gonna do the third movie that most people agree wasn't that great.
Yeah, we got to check back in with Johnny Depp and see what he's up to. I saw this as well, the gameplay footage of being able to
this
play
got people
as
hyped.
Mickey for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's not really for the first time per se,
Right.
but it's like, oh, it looks like we're gonna have more dedicated sections to playing as Mickey
got his
because
own
we
crafted
don't.
Can't believe they origami kinged my
He's
Kingdom
got his own
Hearts.
crafted world. Also, is this James Woods? I know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I assume it is.
he
I don't know
always-
why Disney is still working with him. It's so crazy. Like
It's 'cause
everyone has dumped him except for Disney.
It's because he outright said it's like he will always come back to play Hades. It's like
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer in the.
It doesn't matter. It's not. It should be like
know.
They don't have to bring
it's
him
fine
back.
if you want to come
They
back.
don't.
I'm just like, it's fine if you want to come back. We don't want you back.
Right.
Right.
Well, because what I know is in the previous games that like Hades and Maleficent are sort of like overarching and why am I blanking on Pete's name? It's Pete. Pete is his name.
Yeah,
that they're sort of like overarching villains that travel through those other games. Has Maleficent and Pete been like regular reoccurring characters, or did they just stop after 2?
No, they've been there. Yeah, they've been there for a minute since 2. Pete came in on the second game though.
Okay.
But yeah, Maleficent and Pete have been around for a minute, and the thing is, it's like she died in the first game, and then she was so popular that they said, "Okay, we're just gonna bring her back then," and and then they kind of just didn't have much for her to do.
Yeah.
She's kind of just around for a minute, or
She's an intimidating presence.
kind of yeah. She does a few things. I think I'm trying to remember what she does in 3, but I really cannot remember too much about what her presence was.
The YouTube chat says there's an average of 8 worlds per game. So I imagine those are some returning ones, the classics that they always go back to. I mean, we did just see Hades there.
Yeah,
But I wonder,
often.
because a lot has changed for Disney in like the near decade since the previous game. Like at that point, they owned Marvel and Star Wars, and they had definitely owned Pixar by that point. But they've acquired more rights to more things since that moment, and I wonder if that's going to factor in at all. Is Sora going to go to the Ice Age universe? Is what I'm asking. Really?
No. I think they've made it strictly clear they're trying to stick to like mostly like Disney stuff. I don't even think they'd ever even touch upon like Marvel or Star Wars.
Right. Because Toy Story was like a big deal in the third one because people didn't even think they were going to do Pixar movies.
Yeah, but Pixar is always a case of like it's basically Disney ingredients, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like not hard to pretty much mix in with all the other stuff.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it'd be shocking if they started touching upon like the TV shows and such. If we saw
Hannah
roles from
Montana.
She's going to the Proud Family.
Yeah. That would be crazy.
Sora has to fight the Heartless with her dad. Well, like what
would be like Trudy?
Yeah, what do you think could be represented in a new or rather what worlds would you like to see in a new Kingdom Hearts game?
Man, that is a very good question. An official Lilo and Stitch world would be really good. Obviously, don't copy the movie. Just
I was gonna say, yeah, are they gonna do the live action one or?
No, not the fucking. Oh God.
Oh, that's what they should do. Is they already did Lion King and Aladdin, but this time he goes to the live action versions of them and meets like the Will Smith genie.
No, they're gonna be asking, "Hey, why are you black, genie?"
Sora, I don't think you could say that.
Like, Sora, I don't think you can say that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Goofy, on the other hand, that's a different story. Well, as far as we're talking about adaptations of these worlds as well, the video game footage we saw was not the only thing shared at D23. It was also I can't look at this fucking guy. Is this is meant to be Riku, right? Is this
yeah,
Riku?
that's Riku.
Okay, so we see Riku coming back at the very least. Is there any Kairi in this trailer?
Look, I'm gonna tell you this: if you're someone who's curious about getting into Kingdom Hearts at all, do not look at Kairi at all.
Got it. That's what I've heard.
They let her down so bad, man. Like they made it seem like she was gonna be something interesting at the end of like Kingdom Hearts 2. They stole that from us. Then Kingdom Hearts 3 comes along, or no, the in between games happen, and we barely get any mention of her. And sometimes in Dream Drop Distance, they say, "Yep, we're gonna prepare you and such." And then we get to 3, and it's like all she's doing is just spending time training with another dude.
Right. You could tell that they kept introducing new characters, and it got very cluttered. And they're like, yeah, but Axel, though, we want to see what he's up to.
Yeah, it's like, like Kingdom Hearts is a case of that there was all this potential to properly wrap up this nice arc, especially with these 3 friends who have been trying so hard to just go back home and live peacefully, you know. But nah, we just can't do anything for Kairi. Like we got to leave her special moments to DLC that only does a little bit for her. I'm like, come on, man. And even then, another game, it was this one rhythm game they got for Kingdom Hearts, which amazingly also ties into the story a little bit. Like that has a part with Kairi where she battles, but she turns into Sora. It's like, what?
Oh, that is like, weird.
What are we doing, guys? Like, she has a Keyblade. Just let her be a Keyblade wielder.
I'm happy to
female
hear
Keyblade wielders before. Come on.
I'm happy to hear firsthand from a Kingdom Hearts fan that it is kind of confusing and stupid, because I feel like if a non-fan said that, it would be taken very personally.
It would.
And like, not that I felt that exactly, but yeah, it comes from a loving sense. It's the same way I kind of feel about Star Wars, where it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. This stuff isn't important.
It's like all this stuff, you love it, but it's frustrating how it goes, you know? Like, the biggest thing I know, like the manga tells the story fairly well, and people tend to say, yeah, just read the manga if you really want to enjoy the story.
Well, that was the other announcement as well, is that it seems there is going to be
a TV show.
The anime TV series. I don't know if it actually is an anime TV series, or if that just, you know how sometimes they just call things anime and they mean like it looks like it, kind of. Because Star Wars Visions was actually like animated, like created in Japan. So I don't know what that means exactly, but it's you see it a lot.
I'm pretty sure this is outsourced though. Like this is I'm pretty sure like most of the new shows that come out from any of these big studios, they're made from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of queening in Korea, I assume, or
probably.
Yeah.
It's one of those Korean animes specifically. But I'm interested in seeing, because at first when I saw this, I assumed that this was Sora. And then I saw people speculating about it. And they're like,
no,
I want
new character.
Yeah, like, who's
All
this
new
character in this thing? I mean, I've just fully crashed that
Not
page
someone
on
we've
right
heard
click.
of, most likely, but it's one of those things where they're trying to go a route of, okay, the games have their story, and we're just going to tell a different story in the realm of Kingdom Hearts, which is good, honestly. I mean, we would like a nice adaptation that can kind of keep the series, clean and concise.
Mm-hmm.
But
Simple and clean, one would say.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But at the same time, we recognize that is Kingdom Hearts is a very convoluted series, and trying to tell the games in a TV series, you really got to plan that out. You got to really sit down and figure out, okay, why do they go to this world? Why does this happen? How the fuck can we clean up Kingdom Hearts 3?
So in the manga, is it just Kingdom Hearts original characters and locations, or does it feature both Final Fantasy
It's the
and
game.
Okay, it retells the game.
Yeah, it's the retelling of the game with the Final Fantasy characters too. They show up.
So this animated series, this anime series, will likely star this character, potentially going across multiple Disney worlds, right?
Yeah, most likely. It's curious to see how they go about it. I mean, like I said, it's like they could tap into the TV shows somewhere, like the animated shows here and there. It'd be interesting. Like, that, I don't know. That's because they haven't even since there's no plot synopsis. We just know it's coming.
Right. Doofenshmirtz turns into a Heartless, and they have to seal his heart away. Stuff like that. But I wonder, like, obviously, the fact that it's an anime, it's going to have its own distinct style, but I wonder if the show, in a way, when going to those individual worlds, if it is going to attempt to replicate those styles. Because if I remember
I've had that
correctly,
conversation with a storyboard artist about that idea. Like, I've had that idea and even talked to a storyboard artist about it, and they're like, no, that's too expensive.
That would
you would have to keep so many different model sheets of the characters and all their different designs. Like, that's too much to have to keep a track of.
I mean, that's true.
Or talking to different animation studios that did, animate those shows, those individual shows. So it's like, that coordination too.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a tall order.
Yeah, like in the game, he travels to Nightmare Before Christmas and Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, well, do you replicate those styles as well? That would be fun. But
you're right. But
the idea of a live action
you need
Sora.
money.
You should be in one of those like Disneyland costumes. Well, because they did plan on having an adaptation like early on, right? After the first game, there was a pilot that was lost for a while that resurfaced a couple years ago.
By Seth Kearsley, if I'm right, his name was. They were planning that, but it was fairly removed from what the games were kind of doing.
Right. If I remember correctly, that one like
2000s
reused backgrounds from Disney movies and shows, right? I guess they were all in the same studio at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, in that era of Disney Channel, while they had original shows, a lot of their shows were also, like, Lilo and Stitch the show, and Aladdin the show, and Little Mermaid the show. Like, they all had TV adaptations that I guess it would be easier to reuse a lot of those assets. But the fact that it is not outsourced per se, but if it is an anime like it says on the title, then I imagine it would be a lot harder to replicate those styles.
Yeah, I can see them more anime-ifying most of the or trying to keep every new world in one particular style.
Yeah.
Just to keep it simple.
As like a fan of animation, it's kind of cool that it comes full circle that a lot of what we know today to be the anime style takes heavily after like early Disney movies. The classic big eyes that we know from anime comes from the likes of like them mimicking Snow White specifically.
Right.
I think if this is like the anime version of like the Netflix One Piece or the other Netflix One Piece where they're remaking it and it's also animation where it's like, oh, this is gonna be more streamlined. This is our is it Dragon Ball Kai that's like the cut down one?
Yeah, it's like edited, like they cut down most of the filler
Yeah,
episodes.
I guess the idea is that they knew that Kingdom Hearts was a little bit complicated. So, like, okay, well, let's. At first, I assumed it would be retelling the story, but now that this is a completely different character, I don't know what direction it could go in. Because there's an easy pivot there. It happened, I guess, a couple years back with the Last of Us show. It's an easy translation because The Last of Us is such a story-focused game. Having people watch that show for the first time and then get into the game because of it. And it's happened. I mean, it happens really with every video game adaptation to the theater. That's probably why they released Galaxy 1 and 2 on the Switch, is so that people could watch Galaxy and then immediately I would go outside and see the Galaxy, and then I would go inside to play the Galaxy, stuff like that.
Right.
And that's why, and we talked about it before, I'm so worried about the prospect of a Portal movie. Because I try not to gatekeep anything, but goddamn, I love that series. And I think it would bother me a lot.
I feel like they could pull it off.
It seems like if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Kane.
Yeah, if Kane Parsons does it, I have faith. He's definitely a fan, and he's the youngest director ever. So, he's got his years ahead of him. But as for, we have footage of the game, we have this announcement. It's been actually quite a big week for Sora. This game series normally has announcements all the fucking time, but we don't talk about it often on the show because it doesn't often tie in. The announcements tied to Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 4. I don't know if it's placed in that order, if that's the specific thing, but the idea with it is sort of the, like, so retro, like, well, I'm in basically Wreck-It Ralph world. Crossing over with a bunch of different video game characters. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but people really hate how this Crash looks.
Crash
let me
looks
see.
all right. He kind well, he looks more like he's about.
He looks ugly.
He's stretched out to be like humans. They did this to Pomni too, where like they need to be.
Now I see the legs. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and they got it's just nice to see Crash and Spyro. But the thing I want to focus on is this. Oh wait, I gotta go back actually. We have to look at Crash and Spyro again. I'm gonna do a content warning. Or pause. VCR enhance. This mysterious character over here.
It's so ugly.
That you keep looking at Crash. His exposed ankles. It's weird. I understand it. And his eyes are
cruel and
now
punishment.
I'm understanding the Shrek and Bluey people, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, it is like kind of weird actually. But they're not going to change it. It's more this mysterious character over here, which is like a Fortnite original character. It's weird that despite having other Fortnite original characters, the focus is over here. It has Crash and Spyro, because this trailer, which was posted by Xbox, features these characters because they're owned by Xbox. And they have this one here, and they did this a couple years back, I believe in 2020, where within the same Game Awards event, there was a little Xbox logo and then a PlayStation logo. They announced Master Chief from Halo getting into Fortnite, and then Kratos from God of War getting into Fortnite. The idea is that these are the representatives of their individual consoles. And the theory, the legal proceedings, I think there was a different lawsuit between Epic and Apple, if you guys remember that leaked it's weird to say leaked information because, it's a public court case, so it was information released to the jury, to the court, that Fortnite had approached Nintendo about that same collab. And the idea is that they wanted to have Samus, Master Chief, and Kratos all in the game at the same time. But Nintendo did not want to play ball, or they were willing to, with an asterisk that said, we want it, because with Rocket League and Minecraft, there are skins in that game that are Nintendo references, but you can only get them on the Switch versions of those games. Nintendo's caveat was that, okay, you can have Samus in the Battle Pass, but only Switch players can purchase her, and also you need to make it so that people on other consoles cannot view that skin at all. So if your friend is playing in their Samus, then they'll appear to you as like a default model. So the theory,
dude, I think they've enforced that since like old school Terraria days, actually.
Yeah, they're very litigious about their IP.
Like there was I'm pretty sure, I might be misremembering the story. There used to be like an item in the game that was just Link's outfit, and I'm pretty sure you had that on the PC version, but in like the PlayStation and Xbox version, it was like a different color and had like a different name or something. So like
Yeah.
I assume that was like, Nintendo or whatever, just being. I could be wrong though.
To coincide with this new Chapter 7 Season 4, all these different companies were, quote, retweeting it, and they're like, oh, something's coming soon. Nintendo was one of those companies who said, oh, Fortnite sent us something interesting. So the current theory is that this mysterious hooded character over here is going to somehow be... They're going to allow Link in the Battle Pass only on the Switch 1 or Switch 2, and every other player that doesn't play it on Nintendo console will see the Link skin as this generic Fortnite, like, night skin. Hooded green night skin. That might be too much of a reach. That's what I've heard thus far. And I don't think that's impossible. I think it... Oh, God. I keep looking at Crash. Like, this fits specifically here.
Doing that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
more
something
like
about
Niles
this.
from Fire Emblem.
Yeah, oh, that's what they'll do, though. They'll make it the new... Oh, yeah, and the tall Sonic as well.
Oh, Lord.
Because they all have to have the Fortnite proportions. Tying into... Oh, yeah, Joker persona. There's actually a lot they show off here, and the reason I brought it up is because I know that Sora pops up at some point. I haven't actually watched the full trailer, but they're like, oh, look, video games. So I think it's possible. I think it's even likely that they finally came to an agreement, and
They couldn't get a
Fortnite...
Mortal
And there's
Kombat
Mega
character?
Man. And Fortnite is going to get the partnership and get Link in the game, but only on Nintendo consoles. And that kind of in-between bootleg character will be visible to everyone else
Okay,
that
there
isn't
they are.
playing on a Nintendo console.
Yeah,
That-
I could see Nintendo being that stingy about it.
Mhm.
It's just that's their normal MO.
I think that this deer character is like a Roblox brain rot horror character or something. I'm not as hip to all this as I used to be. I don't know. Oh, dude, Gino! Wait, Gino reveal. Holy shit, they put him in this game? While we're talking about Nintendo, we have seen live service games a shutdown and entire servers, entire communities just left in the dust. And a lot of these games are online-only series, right? The only way to play them is online. We've seen it in the last couple of years. Games that aren't even a year old will be online-only, and then they'll shut down the servers so the game ostensibly becomes a brick. What I'm about to talk
Concord.
about is not that, but it's pretty similar. The announcement came out officially in between weeks of Switch 2 Ultra. Pokemon Bank end of service announcements. They will be.
What the fuck is?
You're
bank?
learning this for the first time. I'm
I
sorry
ain't
that you
never
have to
heard
hear
of
it
no
from
damn
here.
Pokemon Bank. What
So,
is this?
The service for Pokemon
When?
Bank will be discontinued on February 26, 2027.
What the
So,
It's like some Gen
Pokemon-
6 era shit.
well, Pokemon Bank is the 3DS application that allows you to transfer Pokemon from Black, White, Black 2, and White 2 to the 3DS games X and Y. And the idea that they're shutting the service down, because before I think years and years ago, around when Pokemon Home came out, they shut down the paid server, or I don't think it was paid. I think you just paid for it once. They delisted it from the store, but if you still had it, you could still use it. And the idea is that still to this day, or up until, February 2027, you can get Pokemon from X and Y and use Pokemon Bank to transfer them into Pokemon Home. And let me tell you, I am a serial transferer. I have transferred all of my Pokemon up since the beginning. There are currently Pokemon in my Legend ZA game that have come from Ruby and Sapphire. Like my original Sceptile, I've for them all the way up. Not only does this make it so, this ostensibly cuts 3DS downward games from transferring to the Switch games, losing all of those. But also, because they were leaning so hard into the Pokemon Bank of it all, this also means when this goes through that you won't be able to transfer Pokemon between X and Y and Sun and Moon. You won't be able to transfer Pokemon from Black and White to X and Y. And then the Game Boy games that were put on eShop, like Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, you could also transfer those. You won't be able to transfer from those as well. So this has sort of immediately got everyone into panic mode, and they're shiny hunting Pokemon that you can exclusively get shiny in a lot of these games. I have a cosplay Pikachu stuck in my Omega Ruby that I just can't transfer out. He's gonna... A lot like Wreck-It Ralph, I guess he's just gonna stay stuck in there. And this is basically officially ending the widest stretch of being able to transfer Pokemon. Because if you remember correctly, the appeal of the original Game Boy games is that you could transfer Pokemon from Red, Blue, and Yellow to Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And then they changed
You could
around
actually transfer them back too.
Yeah, some of them, and they switched around, or they edited the physical special attacks got split across different moves as opposed to different types, and made it so that you couldn't transfer anything into Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green, all that stuff. But from that moment, like I said, you could transfer a Pokemon from Emerald into Diamond and Pearl, into Black and White, into X and Y, into Sun and Moon, into Sword and Shield, Let's Go. I actually don't think you can transfer them into Let's Go. But, all of these games connected to each other. With the removal of this service, everything before the Switch era will be stuck on the 3DS, will be stuck on their specific consoles. And I imagine this happens because now every Pokemon is on the different Switch games. Also, around the time that Sword and Shield was announced, the big controversy is that Sword and Shield would be the first mainline Pokemon RPGs that would... Oh, yeah, and you could also use Pokemon Bank to get a mythical Celebi. I forgot about that. There's a lot of Pokemon that are going to be locked behind that. But, for the most part, when Sword and Shield came out, the big controversy is that you couldn't transfer all of your Pokemon into that game for the first time. And that seems like, a stub to the toe in comparison to this. I understand that these online services don't last forever, and at some point all of them are going to shut down. But the fact that you can still transfer between the Gen 3 games and the Gen 4 games, and the Gen 4 games and the Gen 5 games, because of services built into the games, the backing of a specific, online subscription service has made it so that you cannot transfer those Pokemon anymore. And essentially what I'm saying is, if you have anything in your 3DS and you still got Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home, you have until February 2027 to transfer them, or else they will be stuck on those games just for the rest of time, forever. I will say that I have already transferred everything up, but I know that not everyone has done that, and this is a really heartbreaking change for a lot of people. I just wish that there, was an alternative. I don't know what they would do, because obviously they don't release 3DS games anymore. I've seen people asking that they released some kind of adapter that allows them to transfer Pokemon from the DS games to the Switch games, like a physical piece of technology they can use, because in Gen 3 and Gen 4 and Gen 5, you can use that physical technology to transfer. But yeah, with the end of service for Pokemon Bank, all of that stuff is ending. And I just wanted to parse your guys' thoughts on that.
I was blackpilled about Pokemon transporting back in 2013 when they started the Pokemon Bank thing. Straight up. I used to kind of want to have all my stuff kind of transferred up and up for each generation. I liked doing that. Mm-hmm. But when they kind of introduced this paid subscription thing, I don't know, I was young, so it was kind of hard to sign up for stuff like that. My parents would give me a hard time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But also it just seemed clunky. Though it's funny. I mean, in some ways it's a lot more convenient now than it was back when you had to play these stupid mini games. But I don't know, I think it just took me out of it to the extent that I never even really used Pokemon Bank or Pokemon Home. So I kind of don't care that much, at least personally. But yeah, no, it's really a shame, because I feel like the draw of really developing an appreciation for your Pokemon, keeping them, using them time and time again, I feel like that's a part of the experience of the fantasy that so many Pokemon fans engage in. And I don't know, it's something that is hard to maintain for the Pokemon Company, and for them it's just wasted money, at least for them, in the eyes of cold business. And I don't know, you had something kind of cool, kind of novel, where you can take a Pokemon that from a game released in 2001, actually no, later than that, I think Ruby and Sapphire were 2004, but 2004, and take it all the way to a game that came out in 2025. And I think that's really special, and it's a shame that, I don't know, they maintaining the infrastructure that allows that is just not worth it to them.
I also wonder that part of the appeal of the Game Boy games on eShop, the Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, is that you could transfer them into Pokemon Bank for the first time, because previously you could never transfer those Pokemon up. So I wonder if this service ending also could tie into them porting more Game Boy and even DS Pokemon games to the Switch. I think there was a leak a little while back that led people to believe that Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald would be ported as well, like they did with Fire Red and Leaf Green. They could just do that. Like, we have speculated for years about whether or not they would create a DS service for Nintendo Switch. But the fact of the matter is that the Pokemon Company wants their own cut of the pie, so like I could see them porting the DS games just on their own. And that would be the only way to transfer out of them. This is sort of like retroactively making all those games like the Game Boy games.
Yeah, honestly, I can see them releasing the Ruby and Sapphire. I know there's been a lot of back and forth on whether they'll do DS games. I think if they really want to, they can make a DS game work.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, right now, they already have Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. So I don't know what they do if they'd want to like bring the rest of the DS roster to the Switch family, but I don't know. I don't know. I think they'll do something, but that doesn't really rectify that much. I'm not saying you're saying it rectifies that, but
yeah,
like it's not about being able to. It's not just about being able to move a Pokemon from Pokemon Fire Red to Pokemon ZA. I think a big part of it is moving the Pokemon from the Pokemon Fire Red game I had 20 years ago, and got my Charizard. I want to move that to my modern day Fire Emblem. I mean, not my Fire Emblem. My modern day Pokemon. Yeah, no, literally.
There's also, we talked about this before, there's a little bit of asterisk that you can no longer transfer these Pokemon legally. That always comes with it. It's the same thing when a lot of games get delisted and when a lot of games become lost media, or so people say, is that like that is true, but also there is a way around it. An asterisk.
Yeah, I could see like some alternate fan made Pokemon Bank service pulling up. Yeah, but I mean I think at some point like that I feel like it might be kind of weird there because I don't know how I guess you might just have like a legit Pokemon Bank service that works as Pokemon Bank that you have to use through you have to properly use. And the reason I say that is it's funny because at that point I think you'll also have a lot of Pokemon Bank services that just do like will generate Pokemon for you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Which is
people already do that.
Yeah.
I remember I think it was on the 3DS that you could type in a custom IP address and then it would allow you to access all of the Unova events. So I'm sure that like these games will still read it as the actual service, even if it isn't like the actual Nintendo one set up. And they've done it a number of times, stuff like that. But that is the extent of Pokemon Bank. We have continued a lot of stories on the show. And last week, although I did talk about Sunshine, the main thing I covered last week was the Super Smash Bros. Tournament at Supernova. And I was getting heavily into Melee for the first time, like first time seeing it live. And I thought, like, okay, the next event is this big tournament called CEO. I'm going to watch this and I'm going to keep up with Melee as well. And for one, the guy I wanted to see win at Supernova, I don't think was competing at CEO. It was held in Florida. But I was there for the finals, and I don't know if you guys have seen anything about the grand finals of CEO, but there's a little bit of a controversy. For one, this guy over here, Cody Schwab, is like the top-ranked player in the world currently. He's the one who won the entire tournament at Supernova. And before this set, because Hungry Box and Cody Schwab, they're friends. They came here together. I think they were like staying together in Florida. Apparently, Cody Schwab ate the evil Florida lettuce and got the terrible diarrhea bug that just makes you sick for elongated periods of time.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, and you could see it in this, and he was like, people at the event said he was like keeled over, and he was like leaving in the middle of the set to go do that. So that's more information about Cody specifically. Hungry Box is very infamous for having huge pop-offs. He's a very emotive person. Whenever he wins, whenever he does anything really cool, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He'll jump up, he'll throw chairs on occasion. Sometimes he'll pop up so much that he will fall all the way back. He had an instance on stream I think a year ago, where he like screamed, he popped off so hard that he legit passed out. All the air just came out of his lungs and he passed out. The exact same thing happened at Supernova. And people saw it happen. Popped off so hard. Sometimes, you know, you get to a certain age and you stand up too fast, it just takes the wind out of you. So this is grand finals. The exact final match. No more bracket resets. This just is the final match. They're each down to a handful of stocks. It's 2v2. Whoever wins this, outside of the loser's reset. There is no. This is the loser's reset. Whoever wins this wins CEO, wins the title, wins the tournament. And this is the bit that happened here that I got people talking about it. Obviously, Cody is in a very specific type of way, and there's a string of moves that happens. That bit right there, where Hungrybox just gets specifically, I guess, excited. And for one, there are multiple angles of this, like more angles than any other controversy. I've seen like 5 different people come out and be like, oh, here's my footage of it. He just jumps back in his seat a little bit. And the other angles of the footage, he does not bump Cody in any way, but he does pop off in that manner and jump back a little bit in his chair. And then that's where the confusion comes in, where I guess Cody gets scared. The way he described it later, other people said, is that like he assumed that HBox had just like fallen out of his chair, and he was reacting to be like, oh my god, is he okay? The funny bit here is where, as Jigglypuff, he still ends up hitting him anyway, and he's trying to have a conversation. So what happened here is this very sick Cody, and he's like, what are you doing? Let me get back. Was trying to, I guess, not disqualify HBox, but say that this was like, oh, this messed up the set, we should reset. Like, we should start over this match. Which didn't end up happening, and Hungrybox ended up winning. And obviously there's no ill will between the two of them. But now there's sort of like a weird asterisk where Hungrybox is the first person to beat Cody Schwab in a proper set this year. And there's always going to be the asterisk of people saying like, okay, but well, he did distract Cody, and also he purposefully poisoned Cody. He gave him the evil lettuce on purpose. He made him get the virus.
Yes, his master plan.
And I remember seeing this live, and I was like, what happened? Like, I genuinely didn't know why he reacted like that. It was very weird and strange. And it's a shame that not that it taints the victory, but it's kind of like the Hungrybox wins this set, but instead of having a huge pop-off, it's kind of just like everyone else is excited, but they're kind of just both confused. And he's explaining, he's like, oh, no, you like jump back or whatever. I think that there's no ill will, but this is definitely, the onus is on Cody. Like, I don't think they should have reset. I think the right thing happened. But it's unfortunate that CEO ended this way. The whole event seemed kind of cursed. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw any of this big lettuce controversy, but that is the extent of what happened in the finals of CEO.
Big lettuce controversy.
Yeah, the lettuce gate of it all. I think that, obviously, like, the Hungrybox PR has gotten a lot better. But I do think that a lot of people just do not like Hungrybox, and they want to assume malicious intent. I don't think any of it is genuine. I think it's, like, mostly joking. But it is a shame that it ended this way. And a nice little hug between them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I was watching CEO live, and, like, the chat was confused. I was confused. I had no fucking clue what was going on. But the lesson is, do not eat any lettuce in Florida. It will end with your opponent winning.
It will.
No, wait, no, go. I want to hear this.
No, I was saying it will. It will totally like fuck you up.
It'll
I have a friend
uproot
who
your
also
entire
got that
system.
disease, and like he had to be hospitalized. It's so bad.
Oh shit, really? Because I never like heard anything
Yeah.
close to it. Like I knew that it was going around. I had just like assumed that it had passed, but I guess just people don't talk about it anymore. So it's like a COVID situation where like it's still like around.
I
Damn,
also
that's
think
nuts.
it's a little bit more of like you kind of want to keep it to yourself thing. Like COVID is a thing that's airborne. That like you get sick, you get weak.
Yeah.
Everyone gets sick and weak. No one wants to talk about getting diarrhea.
Yeah, the
That's not
diarrhea
a thing
virus.
people would
Florida
just be like,
lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
What's this about Florida lettuce? Is there just like lettuce that gets
Oh,
people
well,
sick? or
well,
it's
not
not
Florida,
specifically
it's like-
Florida. There were just like a grand recall on lettuce like all over the place because it was giving people like a diarrhea virus.
Oh, okay, I think I
Yeah.
heard about that. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was
This
like,
tournament just happened in Florida.
Yeah.
That's the extent of CEO. However, we brought in our very special guest host so we could discuss Kingdom Hearts because it's not something that the rest of us have a whole lot of information on. We do have additional segments that we do regularly on this Switch to Ultra show. However, and we've been doing this as of late this year, whenever we have a very special guest, we ask them 2 particular questions. So I don't know if you're as tapped into this, man, but I'm just going to show you the images outright. I have a question for you, if it'll open. If you were given the decision between these 3 Pokemon, which one would you pick? And know that there is a correct answer, and I have already made it. We have I believe the grass bird Brout, the fire dog Pombon, and the water gecko Gekwa.
Well, part of me feels like the dog is more the safe option.
Right. I mean, you can see the previous picks that we've gotten on the show thus far.
Right. I feel like it's one of those cases of the middle is the safe option. The one on the right, the little amphibious one, is the weirdo, I'm trying to just be odd option. And the green one's supposed to be your champion.
Is the correct option. Is the correct option. There is a right answer to this.
Well, I guess it's like I'm not really that pressed to be like I'm not Ash in this, so I'm like, I'll go with safe.
All right, that is another guest of the Switch to Ultra podcast that has gotten behind the horse of Pombon. If I could open this up. It's meant to appear somewhere. There we go. We shall put man here. The Pombon supremacy continues to grow as this divide gets tougher and tougher. Now, the secondary question that you have not been prepped for at all. A more complicated question, a more freeform one, a non-multiple choice question. Another question that we ask our guests that we've been filling out this area. If you could add a new video game character to the next Smash Brothers game in this roster, who would you pick? Any video game character.
Oh, man. What's funny? I'm actually getting through Deltarune right now.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the one I picked. Yeah.
So it is like seeing them, all 3 of them in that roster. I'm like, damn, I would want that. Even
I
if
like
it's
the idea of them being like a trio fighter. Yeah.
If you swap them or you're just playing Chris and you can call in Susie and Ralsei for attacks.
Or just use Ralsei like as a weapon.
Yeah.
We have had previous guests like Wyatt picking Ravenbeak and our co-host Dan and Switchy picking Gino and Shovel Knight. Push Dustin with 9-Volt, Brenofloss with Rabid Peach, Salty DK Dan with Shadow the Hedgehog, and our friend Anders with Heracross. There's a wide array of video game characters that you could choose from.
Yeah, I mean, the only options for me are 3 technically, because 9-Volt is actually pretty cool.
Well, you don't have to pick among this group. You just have to pick any video game character that isn't already in Smash Bros.
That isn't already in Smash.
Right. I mean, if you want to pick one, you can also hedge that bet. You can add any character to our current guide here.
Okay. Trying to think, who would that be? What is a good? I'd have to think about roster video game. Favorite.
Because the game already got Cloud, Sephiroth, and Sora. You could get more characters.
They already have so many in it.
Right.
It's like, who else could I add that? Like, they kind of already fulfilled my wish list. The only person I could add is, like, non-game people, like Goku.
People do really want Goku. So was Sora, like, your dream character of the time where you're like, this is the one I want to see in the most?
Yeah, he was up there. It's like, he was, honestly, I was one of those top people like up there saying, yeah, please put Sora in there. It'd be so cool. Since you could, especially since they threw in the Cloud and Sephiroth and everyone. It's like, dude, it makes sense. It's just, could Disney play ball,
I mean, by that same metric, I mean, Final Fantasy Final Fantasy VII has multiple characters. You could also choose a different Kingdom Hearts character. Although it has to be a character that is a video game character that debuted in the game. As cool as Mickey Mouse would be.
I mean, could you technically pick Oswald the Unlucky Rabbit from what's the Mickey Mouse game?
Oh, Epic Mickey.
Epic Mickey.
I think that would also be a tough sell.
That don't count. It
Yeah.
don't, because he had movies or he had shorts out first.
Right.
But nah, man. Yeah, I guess honestly, I guess I'd have to go with, because I'm a major Sonic fan, and honestly, I would be more on the inclined to want to see Shadow, because he could have a good move set. Like it's more I'm split between Shadow and Chris in the gang.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're going to be
Shadow,
backing one of the characters
just
currently
go
on this
Shadow.
chart. Okay, Shadow. That's fine. That's a popular character. That makes sense.
yeah, I gotta just go with Shadow, because I'm like, because Smash Brothers has already added so many characters. I'm just like, at this point, it's like, just add the people we wanted to see. Like, hell,
Right.
I wish they could I wish some of those assist trophies could just be characters, like Crystal. Like, I would love, like, I know it's like, hey, they already got so many Star Fox characters, but like, come on, Crystal could be in there and actually change up her moveset.
But you
like,
would rather,
like, she could use the staff.
You would rather Shadow than Crystal, or would Crystal be your pick? Because we haven't, as of yet, had two people back the same character. It's definitely allowed, but if you want to have, again, any video game character could be added to this. There's other assist trophy characters like Lynn and Isaac and Waluigi. It's a lot there.
Yeah, those are there, but I'm not. But I think I would throw Crystal in.
All right, well,
Shadow's cool, but that'd be another guest character.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I want another Nintendo joint. We have so many guest characters in Smash now. It's like, let's do let's do another Nintendo.
Star Fox is coming back in a big way. I wonder if they did more of the current Star Fox series, if they would bring in a character like Crystal, and what that character would look like in the new Star Fox art style. Because all the other, like the Falco and Fox and Slippy and Peppy, they all have the more realistic designs now.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's just for the sake of this new remake that they have that style. I'm hoping that's not something they're gonna stick with.
Yeah, I wonder why they went with that one specifically. Is the idea is like, oh well, this is the power of the Switch 2. We could show realistic animals.
I think it's a little bit of that. You know, they wanted to appeal to those like graphics people who really enjoy over realism and shit. Only thing is like, it's gonna look like dog water to you later.
Right.
You know?
There is a distinct difference between like an art style as opposed to something just looking as real as possible. All right, we'll put that up there, and then we'll have this change as well. Again, you can bump that character. It's got a lot of layers here, so we're just gonna have to keep up with it. But that's your final answer. Is it Crystal the Fox? Full name?
Just Crystal.
Just Crystal. Got it. All right. We're adding this right now. It's loading up, and we'll be there in precisely there. There we go. Perfect. All right. Well, that is the Smash Ultimate, or the Smash, new Smash Bros. Game decision. While we're talking about Smash Bros., we have been hosting another regular segment on Switch 2 Ultra, where months ago now, the three of us, me, Switchy, and Dan, cut down the Smash roster to the bare essential 40 characters. And since that moment, we have been going through all of those 40 characters and seeing if we would change up their moveset, change up their design, change up the way they're represented in any way. And since that moment, we have gotten to Mario, to Donkey Kong, to Link, to Samus, to Yoshi, to Kirby, to Fox, to Pikachu, to Luigi, and we did Ness last week. Actually moved these around, and this week we are going over the Jigglypuff moveset. And I'll be honest, guys, I don't think that there's a lot can be changed here. Jigglypuff is a very simple character, a very simple design, originally added to Smash 64 as a guest joke character, reusing assets from Kirby. It's why there's a lot of attacks here that are clearly just like additional Kirby attacks. It still has the sex kick that everyone got from Melee. This grab specifically, the back throw into suplex, is just like a Kirby grab.
Yeah, it's just Kirby.
I think that the only things that Jigglypuff does famously, because obviously rollout is represented in the neutral B, the only thing that Jigglypuff does famously is sleeping and making people fall asleep. And I think that this The reason we kept Jigglypuff in the roster is not because it's one of the most popular Nintendo characters, but because it is a prototypical Smash Bros. Character. You have to keep those original 12. It's what people associate the game with. There would be riots in the street if you remove Jigglypuff. I don't know if I would change anything substantially about this. Outside of, however, if you guys will walk with me here, this Final Smash is also iconic, and it's one of the few that was created in Brawl that has gone unchanged. But normally if there's a new form like that of a Gigantamax Pikachu or a Fury Bowser, that will be factored into the new Final Smash. There's when Mewtwo and Lucario got Mega Evolutions, they were factored into the Final Smash. And while this isn't a transformation for Jigglypuff, I do think that the Paradoxmon Screamtail, which is just like a past version of a bigger Jigglypuff, could be that Final Smash to a certain degree. It could be its own transformation. It could be a cutscene there. Does anyone take umbrage with Screamtail?
Oh, I think that works for Pokemon, where the Final Smash is just their Mega Evolutions. Honestly, I think
I don't like the
That's
idea
fine
of
with me,
turning into
'cause, like-
Screamtail.
Oh,
I would
gavel
like
thrown down.
Screamtail
Okay.
as like an alternate skin or something
Right.
akin to that. I think what it should be is still something that like maybe like Hyper Voice, sort of like something Screamtail would do. It's something Jigglypuff can also do. It's just like screaming really loudly or making a loud noise and just kind of scaring or killing people with like how loud it is. Like that's what I would think would be maybe a little bit more apropos, kind of game accurate for Jigglypuff. And yeah, because like I mean, it's not like Jigglypuff turns into Screamtail.
No,
Screamtail
that's
is
the
like,
thing, is that they are two separate Pokemon, so
Oh.
it's a little more difficult. That's the thing, is like unlike a Mega or like an Evolution or a Gigantamax, Screamtail is just like its own. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's its own thing. It's clearly modeled after Jigglypuff, but like, wouldn't Screamtail make more sense as an Echo Fighter? I suppose it could, but at a certain point,
but
at a certain point,
I
Jigglypuff
think it would
started
be a
as a
little much
clone
to
of
do
Kirby, and then we're like getting to a certain. I think we should rep Screamtail some type of way. And the argument is obviously like, oh, it has to be the Final Smash because Screamtail is like a good deal bigger than Jigglypuff. But we have seen
is it? I
multiple
forgot about
characters
that.
now, that have switched around the sizes of the characters. That was the whole story with adding Ridley to the game. I could see Screamtail being an alternate skin as opposed to a Final Smash. But do we still want to change
feel
the
like,
Final
yeah.
Smash?
I would like to change the Final Smash to Hyper Voice.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to, like that's I think would be a decision that makes sense. I mean, I'm still kind of partial to the like stupid inflating thing, even though it's stupid, just because it's classic.
Yeah.
Let me think. Is there anything else that I would want?
Because like a lot of the Jigglypuff moveset started as a joke character in Smash 64. Like, oh, she falls asleep and her recovery is just sing. She doesn't actually recover at all. But I feel like you can't take rest and you can't take sing away from her, because those are not moves exclusive to Jigglypuff, but it's sort of what Jigglypuff is iconic for. Weirdly enough, specifically in Smash Bros, I feel like the Pokemon characters rep the anime more than they rep the games. Specifically with their voice lines as well.
I think with Jigglypuff too, because all things considered, I don't feel like Jigglypuff really develops that much of an identity in the Pokemon games. I think it's the anime more than anything. And I think the reason Jigglypuff was like strong enough in, the developers' minds to include in the game, original Smash Bros, is honestly more the anime.
Yeah.
Specifically the singing thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm full of shit, but like I
that definitely
think,
seems like it would be the case.
Because I mean, the early anime had that running gag where Jigglypuff sings to like entertain people. They all fall asleep, and then she draws on their faces. And like, I think that's, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Jigglypuff was a Pokemon that no one cared about, but in the games. But it's like I think a lot of Jigglypuff's notoriety in the franchise, among other Pokemon, is honestly more work of the anime than the games. At least if you're talking about like the first 3 or 4 years of Pokemon being a thing.
Yeah, like Pikachu is more rare than Jigglypuff in those Game Boy games.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, any feelings about Jigglypuff's moveset?
No, I mean, well, first of all, I wasn't able to watch it last week. I'd love to know how the Nest thing went last week, because obviously
We chose to
you know.
change the maybe like the color scheme of his psychic attacks.
Yeah, we
to better
implemented
match
PK Rockin' in a lot of the in all of the animations, I think.
And for kind of shits and giggles, I think we replaced PK Fire with Paralysis, but it's functionally pretty similar. And I think I forget if we committed this, but I was thinking of like reworking PK Flash to be more game accurate.
I don't think we did. I think there's a lot of stuff we put, and then at the tail end, you're like, yeah, but no, we'll because even the paralysis thing, I don't think we kept. Like, I think we only changed it.
Oh, did we get rid of it?
Yeah. At your request, I believe.
Yeah, no, I'm it's so weird because, you know, especially these characters. I mean, like the characters' movesets create an identity of their own. That's why I think sometimes in some ways, you know, game accuracy for Smash movesets is like a little overrated. I don't think it mattered as much as people think it does because, I don't know, you have like characters like Captain Falcon who are just beloved and they're like movesets just like some made up bullshit.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we're going to get to Falcon next week.
Yeah.
Right, I was going to say, I'm not like a Pokemon guy, so I'll take your word for it if this looks good. I was going to say this week and especially next week, I can't imagine many changes.
No.
Like, we're not going to have another Luigi situation.
Yeah. Well, Luigi's had his own games. Granted, there's been multiple F-Zero games, but not really since. So are we good with just the Final Smash changing?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I think everything else uses like the limbs, the roundness of the Jigglypuff. Pound and rollout being references to moves. I think that a lot of this makes sense. I also, in looking into this, the down smash, I didn't know that she does like a little spin while doing it. There are moves in this game, evidently, I've just never done. I think Screamtail being a skin
It even has the sex kick. Look, in the neutral air.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, all the characters from Melee onward, some of them change, but most of them just have the sex kick. Like, it's a very easy neutral air to do, just have them extend their foot. And I think this was Kirby's neutral air as well, but Kirby's changed to the spin in later games. I will say that like part of editing Luigi was taking out all the stuff that just made like leftover stuff of him being a Mario clone. I don't know how much of this is still like Kirby. I feel like Jigglypuff's been differentiated enough. And to the same argument of like Jigglypuff being more of an anime character than a game character, and this goes in tandem with Captain Falcon as well. At a certain point, it just becomes a Smash character more than, like, repping their actual game. I think that you could change Luigi because he has his own series, but I think that Jigglypuff specifically, and even, like, Fox, I think we only just changed Fox's design to the new Star Fox design, if they keep that around. But I think that this is a stamp of approval, a finished product of Jigglypuff. Sometimes you can't match perfection. I think it was Yoshi that
was the most difficult one yet.
Yeah, and they're only going to get worse. Now we can put a little check mark by that. We're almost done with the original 12. Then we're going to start getting to the characters that we did decide to keep. I'm noticing here also that we didn't keep Sora. Sorry, man. We had to cut it down to the bare essentials.
No. Sora, I'm not going to say he was a late cut. He was kind of like a mid cut. Because, like, he's a good character, but also he'd probably be one of the hardest copyright-wise to get back.
I think at the end, we just started cutting third-party characters, even if we liked them. We're like, we need to make space for this.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We only kept the essential third parties.
Yeah, we kept 8 Melee characters. Yeah, I mean, Sonic, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and then Ryu and Cloud. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But this means we can add a lot more, but we're not going to get into adding characters until 11, whatever 40 minus 11 is, 29 weeks. We'll see what happens before then. But that was that regular Smash segment. The final segment that we've been doing on the show as of late, week by week, is going through all of the Nintendo Directs in the order that they came out. And Dan, you avoided the show at just the right time, because last week we watched the wonderful 101 Direct. That was like 20 minutes
thank
long.
God.
Whoa,
Thank God.
Whoa. Nah, you guys.
No shade to the wonderful 101.
You guys don't understand Wonder Red like I do.
Dude, Wonderful 101 is like a Nintendo countdown tuber classic, okay?
Right.
Like I have a kinship with
I'm
that
not
game.
saying it's
When you
not a
own
good
a Wii
game.
U,
I'm
you
just
have to play
saying
the
that,
Wii U
like,
games no matter if you like them or not, just to justify your purchase.
You're not wrong.
You
Look,
did.
I'm not saying it's a bad
Yeah, I
game. I'm
did.
just saying that
I got
If-
Nintendo Land.
I would not want a direct focus on
Yeah.
one game for literally 9 out of 10 games. And that
Oh,
is
yeah. No, for
easily
sure.
falls into that 9 out of 10.
Well, let me ask you.
Dude, I wasn't even like excited for the fucking Kirby Air Riders directs. I'm like, just 2 of them.
They did 2
Like, I
of
wasn't
them.
even-
I like those because Sakurai is very funny.
He clearly
He's
just
a
wants to
funny man.
be a YouTuber.
He does.
He does, and more power to him.
It's not for the faint of heart. I've heard it's a famously really difficult job.
Mm.
Oh, while I'm setting
Oh,
this up, did
no.
you guys see the announced change via YouTube? I don't even know if I
It's
fully
crazy.
understand it.
I did see that, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's no minimum for like someone clicking on your video to count a view, which
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I mean, like I heard people say like maybe it's just to kind of overinflate, you know, how big their website is because now, you know, there's probably a lot of videos that
Probably a lot of
you know,
shorts.
a lot of shorts, also just even normal videos, you know, because you know, like I'm pretty sure like even in like really successful videos, you often lose like half your audience within the first like 10 or 20 seconds. And it's just part of the game, you know. You know, if you really want to make someone stay for your whole ass video, you have to maintain being the thing they want to pay attention to most for like, you know, at the length of your video. That's hard. So because of that, there was always the minimum of 30 seconds for someone to be watching your video for it to count as a view. But now it's like, if that's not the case, then everyone who clicks on your video and just immediately clicks off, that counts as a view. And it's much more akin to like Facebook. And that Facebook, I'm pretty sure has like more of a, you look at it, that's a view kind of thing. And that's why videos will get like way more views on Facebook than they do on YouTube. But it just seems kind of stupid. I feel like the 30-second limit makes sense because it gives people, you know, if nothing else, a slightly more realized idea of how many views, how much attention their videos are actually getting.
Yeah, I heard that it's not going to change any of like the actual payouts when it comes to watch time.
Oh yeah, we're not getting any more money from it.
It
like...
just seems to just inflate the numbers. But I wonder, this and the previous announcement, it seems like a lot of these changes are mainly to affect people who predominantly use shorts because they're trying to make that like a competing platform with something like TikTok. And I think that the views going up just by looking at it is maybe a change to make shorts look like they're doing better, because this used to be the case with YouTube. It used to count a view depending on just like if you clicked on the video or not.
I feel like they're trying to bleed out the shorts because personally, it was stupid that they even tried to copy TikTok. That is not a model that makes money. TikTok stars are poor.
I want to
Them
hear it
niggas,
from you.
the
Oh
only-
yeah.
oh, sorry. I
just
shouldn't have said that.
no.
But
TikTok has a
but-
creator fund as opposed to paying you a percentage. So they just pay you like, oh, what if we gave you like a couple
Exactly.
cents?
Exactly.
But I do want to
It
hear
gives
this
you,
from
like-
you because you like of all of us, you definitely put the most effort into your shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
well,
100%.
To a degree, yeah. And as of late, I've started regretting it because it's like you spend time on it and they started choking those things out and they don't really pay well. And you're spending extra time to make extra content that doesn't really do much for you. Making regular videos or just shorter videos.
Right.
You know,
Put a bunch of
Shorter
shorts
full
back to
videos.
back in a 10-minute format.
Right.
Dude,
It's
I'm honestly like more pro shorts than most people. I think just because like the main stuff that I make is I'm not gonna say anti-commercial, but it is sort of, you know, it's not it's not stuff that really just consistently just drags in randos and shit. But I think I have like an approach to my videos that a lot of people will watch and be like, oh, this guy, like, you know, if nothing else, like he edits more than a lot of other people. So there's like, I think because like I've been able to shove my face in people's face through shorts, like that's kind of done me some good in terms of publicity and subscribers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think ideally shorts wouldn't be like its own specific medium, but I think for the most part people use it for promotion because a lot of them link back their clips for other videos. I've been trying to do this as of late where I'm just clipping everything because I used to just do like 4 segments of a video, 4 like a minute segment of a video around the time a video came out. But as of late, I've just been posting a different 1 minute from it every day in a vertical format and doing the same for streams, which I've always done. But only recently I've been like, oh, I should also clip stuff from the Patreon and the bonus channel as well, because there's a obviously a large amount of people who I just assume everyone always knows what I'm doing, but sometimes it'll pop up and they're like, I didn't even know you had this channel. So
Yeah.
as annoying as it is, sometimes you do have to do your own promotion. I used to be like so anti. I was like, no, the video's going to speak for itself. I don't want to do anything. I'm washing my hands of this. But you do need to extend that.
Yeah, that's
But I'm
honestly
surprised.
how
I would have assumed shorts, like, they count views differently because a lot of shorts are less than 30 seconds. So I assume, like, if you just click a short and maybe watch it just a couple seconds and swipe away, I would have assumed that counted as a view.
Yeah, like,
so
just
that's what I'm like
proportionally.
kind of not sure, like, what this is for, because I heard someone say maybe it's just to like kind of inflate their statistics for investors, and that might make some sense, because if you're saying that, like, oh yeah, YouTube, if your basic count of a view, you know, counts basically twice as many views as it would otherwise, and I think that might be the number that we'll be seeing, because if basically let's say half of people on a video of mine click off within the first 30 seconds. I actually don't, I try not to check those numbers too much, but let's say that's the case. And now I think, and like the rate at which people are clicking on my video doesn't change. I assume once this policy takes place, I'm going to be getting, you know, 2 views for every 1 view I used to get, you know, on average. So it's like, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if maybe YouTube does it so they can say, like, oh, we get, you know, 2 billion unique video views every day instead of 1 billion. Like, maybe that helps kind of, you know, cook their books a little bit. But I don't know, it's something that I can see through. I think we can all see through it. You know, I think most people understand it when you explain to them. So I don't know what good this really does, to be honest.
I heard someone say recently that they had made a different change, maybe like only this year or maybe like a year ago. I don't remember. That they stopped counting like ad blocker views, and that's why a lot of people were reporting that they were getting less and less views. But there might be some truth to that, but also some of it might just be like people seeing numbers depleting and wanting to know why outside of themselves. That could very well be true. Maybe this idea is to like artificially inflate them to walk that back so that it's not as debilitating or not as demeaning towards the people looking at those numbers. Because I think anyone that does this for long enough, especially if they like watch other people, is that caring about views is kind of like a learned behavior. And I used to have it too, where I would like see a thumbnail that I was really interested in and I would be like, 900 views, I'm not watching that. But like that's where the stuff is. Like sometimes you just have to purposefully not look at the numbers because it doesn't really factor in whether or not you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think that at a certain point, and I wish I said this years ago when I was getting more views so that it didn't sound as much like cope. I think you just need to not care about views in general. I think that you'll be a lot happier doing YouTube if you don't look at... I mean, obviously it's hard not to look at those numbers, but don't care about the numbers as much.
I think it depends on what you want to get out of it as well. Like, fundamentally, I think... you know, and I've been in this exact situation where you kind of have to ask yourself, like, what do I want to be? How do I want to be seen? And, like, do I picture this project that I'm currently working on being something that means something to a lot of people or just means something to me? Right. And that's a hard question to answer because I think one of the hard lessons you learn. You learn this as a YouTuber, as any creative who kind of shares your stuff. I think one of the things you really have to contend with is people's attention spans and how not to take it personally. Right. You know, people. I mean, I think one thing I tell people who want to become YouTubers or are kind of, I would say, what's the word? Aspiring, but not that word specifically, kind of just maybe bitter or just kind of discouraged, that's the word, about their own development, their like click-through ratios, their watch time, just feeling like no one really stays for their videos. Is maybe this is kind of harsh, but it's just a question of how many videos do you see on your recommended every day that you don't click on, that you don't scroll through, and when you don't get people clicking on your video, first of all, you shouldn't take it personally, because I don't think whenever you don't click on a video, you're like really just scorning this thing that you didn't click on or you clicked
Right.
off of. Like, so that's the first thing. I mean, I think there's a difference between someone actively disliking what they're watching and not wanting to watch more of it, or just someone just not really having their attention grabbed. But
Right.
fundamentally, I think one of the hardest things you have to just kind of work with is the fact that people's attention, you know, like slips through your hand like sand. And
You're also not
that's-
entitled to anyone's attention.
that too,
Right.
that too. And I think like, you know, what you have to know is what you're doing going to be something that someone really wants to click. And I mean, there's and that might sound kind of bad because, you know, there's kind of shitty, annoying ways to do that, where, you know, you do these like ridiculous kind of clickbaity videos every single day. I think one of the YouTubers that makes me really roll my eyes is like Rick Beato. I kind of like Rick Beato, but he also just does like every like third video of his is I can't believe this is happening. And it's a picture of him like looking like bothered or something. And then he talks about the most mundane shit ever. But it's like, you know, people that's like just a strategy where it's like, oh, I wonder what kind of drama shit's going on. So that's a thing a lot of YouTubers do. But I think, you know, there's a healthier way to do it where you just make really eye-catching thumbnails.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, Andrew. I think like your Izzy Isn't Crazy video thumbnail is like one of the best thumbnails like I've ever seen.
That
like,
would
in terms of just
That's a
explain
great
why
thumbnail. That's one of my
people
favorite
click on it.
thumbnails.
Yeah.
it's like because it's visually distinct, it has a cool kind of thing going on. It just like it's no wonder that video got as many views as it did. And it's not like you're like saying it, and it's not like, you know, I don't think there's anything about, you know, that kind of presentation that comes off as, you know, dishonest or clickbaity or whatever. But
Yeah.
you know, there is a challenge in just getting people's attention in the first place, and I think there's often a sort of, I would say, stigma about knowingly and wanting to do something that gets people's attention as a performer.
Yeah.
You know, ideally we want to just, you kind of just want to have people watch your stuff, but you don't really want to come off as needing it too much. I think that's the thing that a lot of YouTubers contend with. I contend with it because I
course.
don't want to just like get on my knees and just, you know, constantly get views by just I sort of trying, just like leaving out bait. You know, kind of just trying to do something that seems really exciting in the moment, but it's not really that meaningful. You know, just, you know what I mean? Like, I guess clickbait's the word. You know, but you know, I think it's a thing that people have to consider. And the long and short is just people's attention is very waning, and you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. I got a chat or a comment on like a stream the other day, because they're on the Tomodachi streams. It's very freeform. People just asking me questions, and somebody asked like, "Oh, how do you decide whether a video is gonna be one that like you want to make out of passion, or if you're gonna try and like chase the algorithm?" And I don't think that I've ever decided to chase the algorithm, because that is just like, you will become immensely depressed if you try and do that. Like, it is it is a fickle beast that you cannot
Oh my God,
properly
yeah.
understand.
Hell, I've gone mad trying to chase my own audience.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's
so
it's
trying to chase an
eye-opening.
algorithm.
Some comments are so eye-opening, the amount of people that exclusively rely on their recommendations. And I've said it before that like sometimes I'll get comments of people being like, "Dude, I think you're shadow banned. Like YouTube didn't show me this video." And then I'll reply to the comment and be like, "Oh, it didn't show up in like your sub feed?" And they'll be like, "Well, no, like in my it was like, well, if you want to see the videos, like I know it's a YouTube meme, but you do got to ring that bell. Like it would certainly help."
It's like you gotta scroll through your fucking subscription.
Yeah, I'm not
boxes,
trying to
people.
sell you on this, but like if you want to get notified and you're complaining you're not getting notified, there is a way to go into that. But the way I view it, as far as like, I think that my numbers are inflated, not like artificially and not by bots or whatever, but for me, I think on my channel currently, the least viewed video is at like 5,000 views. And that's the way I view it, is that like I have 100,000 subscribers and I've gotten videos that got like 1 million or whatever. But I think I have 5,000 fans that will, that's the baseline, that they will watch me do anything. And that's really like the bit I care about, is fostering a community of people that necessarily don't care about the thing I'm talking about, but do care about me And that's the group I'm committed to, is that 5,000 people that will really watch me do anything. Because Total Drama is like very succinctly stuck to the Total Drama community. And a lot of Total Drama fans will just watch that one video a year. And that's completely fine. That's why I do a lot of annual stuff like, I want to talk about Adult Swim in September or wrestling in April, stuff like that. Because I don't want to be known as one thing. I want to be able to do all these different things. And for the most part, the 5,000 baseline was like a couple years ago with the MagFest video. But recently, like the Sequelitis video, which is actually really short in comparison, only got like 6K, like currently right now. And that one is like, if I was trying to chase the algorithm there, if I was super interested in the numbers and doing well, I probably wouldn't have done that video to begin with, but I'm really glad I did do it because it was a lot of fun. And those 6,000 people that did watch it, I hope that they enjoyed it, even if they like vehemently disagree with what I'm saying about Mario Sunshine. But for me, it's like, I think that whether it be at a convention or like in the DMs or whatever, or even in like a Twitch chat, that people will tend to, and this isn't me like trying to big up anything, but like will tend to approach me with the like, under the implication that I'm famous somehow, which is like could not be farther from the truth. I have those. I think people see 100,000 subscribers and like a certain amount of views on a video and assume that it's like, holy shit, that means 1 million people know you and 1 million people approach you. I've been approached exclusively at conventions and one time at a Mitski concert, but like for the most part, it's not. I can walk outside and just go get food. Like, nobody here knows me.
Most of your favorite favorite YouTubers are just people.
Yeah.
In their neighborhoods.
Yeah,
no
like
one goes up to them on a regular.
Completely different spheres, and it's just those 5,000 people really, and that's why ideally I'd like to completely. Because when I say, like, I don't care about views, there's, like, a little twinge there where it's like, I also need to pay my rent. So there's, like, a part of that.
Exactly.
The ideal is that those 5,000 people, even, like, 1,000 people that will watch everything, I can get them to subscribe to the Patreon. And because if I have, like, 1,000 patrons, I could just live off of that for presumably the rest of my adult life, or at least, like, the next decade. And I would still make stuff for YouTube, but I wouldn't care as much specifically about that, and that's my main goal really.
Right.
Oh yeah, YouTube chat says Sequelitis legit did not show up on my main YouTube page or sidebar. You gotta check your subscription feed, man. I beg you to check your subscription.
Okay, I get that the recommended thing is this new shiny thing that YouTube has made. For fuck's sake, we have been going through the subscription bar since the beginning of YouTube, guys.
And like, I get
there
it.
to see your new videos.
When I was a
see your
kid,
favorite YouTubers.
There was like a
It's
walkthrough.
such an interesting change, I think, on some level. You can talk. I'm just like,
oh no, there was just like a walkthrough series of this person playing Pokemon Sapphire when I was a kid, and I guess I didn't know that I could like go to their channel. So sometimes I would like watch part 14, and then the like recommended next would be like part 16 or something, and I would be like, oh, I guess there's no 15th. I'll just click on that one. And I also think like it's probably a part of other social media, other video platforms as well, is that even Twitter now, like Twitter, TikTok, all these other ones, the main page is the For You page, which is ostensibly like the recommended page. I don't, like when people open up YouTube, I don't think that they immediately go to their subscription page to like scroll through that. They'll just scroll through the main page.
Yeah.
I still do, but they're making it annoying as fuck now. Like I think on desktop it just doesn't really work anymore.
I love
it'll,
you,
like,
Pedro, by the way. No hard feelings.
It'll show you all the video thumbnails in this like 2x3 thing, and you scroll down, and then it shows recent videos or recommended recent videos. So you have to scroll past that. It's just like they're playing mind games with you now, and I think the reason they do it is because on some level, they probably get better user retention by sort of just flashing things they think they'll like at you, as opposed to just kind of ordering things on, chronologically or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I think
from
I'm
a search
still old
engine
school
standpoint,
in that.
I understand that. Like they want to keep you on the app.
Like I used to wonder like why the hell they even why they're so obsessed with this recommendation shit in the first place. And now from a business stance, at the very least, I kind of get it. But I don't know. It sort of is just, I don't know, kind of scummy and just dirty. And I don't know. I recommend people. I think you're better off just kind of at least scrolling through your subscriptions, kind of checking out the videos you want to watch, and like if you really want to support the creators and stuff like that, that's I think kind of part of it.
Yeah. I think I'm
because you're
too
not
much of,
always
like,
going to be shown something you'll like.
And honestly, I feel like it's a case of they could just make a subscriptions like column in like the main page, put that at the top for people. But I think
that
it's a
would
matter
make
of
sense.
it would. But the thing is, like you said, they want people to stay on the app, like all social media, and
Right.
they don't want. And if people knew to go to their subscription, they get all the videos they want to actually watch, and then be tired and and move on to.
No,
to
I don't
another
even
thing.
think it's that. I think it's just, frankly, just the fact that, at least in my opinion, what I assume it is just, you get more, let's say, for example, someone clicks, because back in like 2014 or maybe a little earlier than that, it was actually your subscriptions that showed up first if you logged into YouTube. And I think, the recommended thing generally, let's say, someone logs in to YouTube and the first 10 videos they see are like the most recent videos from people they're subscribed to. That, maybe there's a chance they'll watch one of the videos, maybe there's a chance they click off. I think when it's recommended, the chances that they'll watch one of the videos is higher because it's kind of curated to some extent based on previous user data to be something that the algorithm thinks is interesting to them. So I think that's why, I think that's why TikTok, that's why Twitter, that's why everything's doing this for you shit now, because they don't want you to get bored because your feed sucks. You know what I mean? I think that's a big part of it because I don't know. I don't know if you guys were around for Twitter, pre like 2016, but there was a point in time where like all these Twitter website integrations were kind of really stupid. And what I mean by that is that I don't think people really were thinking about things on this basis yet. But I remember, pre-2015, I'd follow people and I'd just have like some schmuck, not a schmuck, someone I liked enough to follow. But I liked a YouTube video and it showed this link. I liked a YouTube video and it's a link. And that's like shit that just shows up on my feed. And I think that Twitter or most websites kind of correctly identified that some content is more interesting to us than others, and you can kind of predict that. And the more you keep people on your website, the more money you make. So I think that's the main reason.
Yeah, no, and I'm like guilty of it too, where like when it comes to YouTubers, I definitely do more of a binge. Well, I will go like months on end without watching someone,
same,
and then
100%.
I'll like see a video of theirs, and then I'm like, okay, I'll just watch the last like 6 videos. I'll watch like their entire channel in a day again. Like I'm like, oh, I haven't seen these latest 6 uploads because there's so many. Like I try and keep up with everyone, but there's only so much time you have in a day. To the same point, I was getting at that, like, I am not entitled to anyone's money. I am not entitled to anyone's view. But if you want to be notified about the videos, there are ways to do that. That's what I wanted to get at with that specifically. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to add on to that, but if I didn't remember it, I got incredibly lucky. Like, I appreciate the compliments for the Izzy thumbnail, but like that one, I will still get comments on it that are like, this keeps showing up in my algorithm, I guess I'll click on it. Like, it seems that most of the views in that video are like out of wearing people down. For whatever reason, that one is constantly recommended to people. And it's not because of any innate video quality or thumbnail quality or anything. I think I just got like really, really lucky. And there are ways to track the algorithm. There are games and systems. YouTube will show you analytics like those words mean anything to us. But I don't... It just is random. I won the lottery. Like, I got incredibly lucky, and either I could spend the rest of my time trying to win the lottery again, or I could try and live off of the first lottery win that I got. Like, I can see a video in the future getting 1 million views again. I don't think it's impossible, but it's not really what I'm not going to say I'm not aiming for, because, that's ideal for any video, but it's not something I particularly care about, because I am in an incredibly privileged position where I don't need to care about it, because that people are still watching that Izzy video because I got lucky. There's nothing I do in my videos that puts me in a different bracket from anyone watching this, from anyone on this panel right now. I rolled a roulette and I won. and that's just what happens. I got really lucky. But while we're talking about the in-between between short and long videos, we do have this 20-minute Pokemon Direct from September 4th, 2013. And Dan, you said earlier there's only a handful of games you'd be willing to watch a full Direct for. Is Pokemon X and Y on that list?
Is the worst generation on that list? No, I don't think it is.
Well, let's see what they got here. The only game that released in between the previous Wonderful 101 Direct and this Pokemon Direct was Mario and Luigi Dream Team
from the Pokemon Company.
And this makes sense because X and Y, the first Pokemon game to have a simultaneous release across all the different territories. It comes out in... It came out in October. I think I have the date listed here. Actually, it's October 12th, 2013. It's actually remarkable that, like, looking at this list, this is still the era where a lot of games come out in Japan first and then are ported. So the fact that Pokemon X and Y was ostensibly the first Nintendo game to have a simultaneous release, I didn't know that. I thought it was like one of the later ones.
It was one of the first, at least Pokemon games.
Yeah, which makes sense because their games would leak out like all the time.
Yeah, no, it was always annoying because like you know, if you paid attention to the internet, like you already knew what all the Pokemon were going to be.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people that would just like play the game in Japanese before they played it.
Oh
in
yeah,
English.
they would emulate it also. I
think I actually did emulate
this cool
like a
guy?
English ROM of black and white.
He's the cool one of the group because he's not wearing a
As the
suit.
second Pokemon Direct.
Oh yeah, this game comes out in a month and a week, basically.
About Pokemon X and Y releasing on October 12th worldwide, direct
This is kind of like the Switch Ultra
Pokemon Red and
podcast.
Green in 1996.
I also like the
Things have
abundance of Gen
changed a
5
lot
Mon
over the
because it was the newest generation. You don't see this a whole lot.
The first Pokemon
They got 2
titles
Cobalion
were
plushes.
for this very large Game Boy.
Well, Game Boy, they do this every
At
time.
that time,
I remember it hit me when
there
Sword Shield came
really
out with it
wasn't
like
much
every
of the
generation,
internet,
and it hit even harder
let
because you
alone
couldn't transfer them all
communication
up.
over
But
wireless networks. So we used this link cable to connect.
oh yeah. Wait, are they gonna show off Pokemon Bank in this?
It's
I think
huge.
I had that
so
Big Night
funny.
plush.
Like an arcade machine.
No, I don't.
haven't
Pokemon
seen
Bank, I don't
this
think it was a
cartridge
thing
in a
yet.
long
Because Pokemon
time.
Bank was made for Gen
Cartridge
6.
looks huge after not seeing it for so long.
Well, this is Gen 6.
Well,
Well, but Gen 6 wasn't out
as
yet.
I'm looking
I
at the
see.
package,
So actually,
Switchy.
you might be right. Maybe they'll announce it
Operation manual
to show
and
it
that.
off. Yeah.
Switchy, fun
And I have to
little,
hear because it's very close to coming out.
yeah, fun little fact is that
bring back
the
memories.
same time I was in New York to get that Pig Night plush was also when I was in my very
after
short
the release
original
of
MLP
Pokemon
phase.
Red and
And I
Blue,
remember I was at a Toys R Us and I got both the Pig Night plush and
there was
like
the
a
yellow
Fluttershy
Pikachu
doll. Those are the two things I
After
got.
a long wait, Pokemon Gold and Silver were released.
What are we going at here? This is the
then-
history of
Remember when
Pokemon.
Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow
So,
released
Game Boy
on
Advance
3DS VC, and everyone was so excited, and then people played it, and they were like, "Wait a minute,
Remaking
these games
Pokemon
kind of
Red and
suck."
Green
What's
for
funny
Game
though
Boy
is that those
Advance.
games are so buggy that you
We
could
were
get the glitch Mew and then
experimenting with a
transfer it to
wireless
Pokemon
adapter.
Bank.
You
I
could,
actually
you could.
brought
It's
it to
very
Mr.
funny.
Ishihara and asked if he would be interested in using it.
They're going through all the games.
I was able to make the same suggestion to Mr.
I mean, it's nuts that, like,
soon after that as well.
96 was the
That's
first
when I
game.
realized
So
how
that's
convenient the wireless connection would be.
17-year gap between
That's
that
right.
and this.
We were able to create a lot of ideas.
And
It was really
we're
interesting
out
to think
about
what we would be able
13
to
years?
do without the cables.
Hey, it's that Nintendo Switch game.
When Nintendo DS came out,
Can you do this
the
in the
wireless
Switch version,
connection
the online
became
jump
standard
rope
on
game?
the hardware.
That would make
And
sense.
I have no idea.
You obviously
Pro
can't
were
do it on the
released,
GBA one
and
anymore.
where internet connectivity was achieved at last.
This is one of
That's
the.
when I realized
I
how
talked about
far
this
we had
because
come in
I
connecting
do
to
the
one
show on
another.
stream now where I play different
Today,
original
I see
Xbox
even
games
more progress, and we're
for
trying
like its
to
anniversary.
achieve something similar
That like
to
Xbox
continuous
Live on a. Oh
connectivity.
shit!
From the beginning, Mr. Ishihara
We also
had
see different
always said
protagonists here.
a
People had
signature of
believed that you
Pokemon
could
is
customize your
openness.
character, but this seems like soft confirmation of that. Oh, we see Sylveon.
In other
I think we
words,
saw
as
before.
Mr. Ishihara has been saying, because you interact with
Did you
others,
guys use the PSS a
Pokemon
lot? I know
games
people who still
are
play
different
Pokemon like
from
swear
games
by it as the
that you
best
play
online.
online.
Swear by it. But I never really got like
Players were
super
connected via
into X and
3-foot-long
Y. Like
cables
I played
first.
like maybe I would say 60
Then with
hours
the
of it, I
wireless
think,
adapters,
and then I kind of
they
put
were
it
able to
down, which you know
Or if they never got like super into it,
The
played
addition-
literally a week of
We're
it.
now able to interact.
isn't
with people
nothing.
on
It,
Well, you
it
could
was
100% it in
like
that
two-
time,
It's like
yeah.
2 or
So
3
the range
days.
of communication
Yeah, no,
has definitely become broader.
I never like kind of stuck around to like get good,
So,
get like really good
as
like
to how
Pokemon. I was
communication
kind of
in
hyper
games
training for a
has
little bit,
changed.
but I didn't really stick to it, so I never really used the PSS that much. So I don't know.
Well, because I was
But
like,
I mean, if you were serious
that
about
okay,
trading and like
Masuda-san?
battling, like PSS was kind of awesome.
Sure.
I think.
well, yeah, because I was a
Oh,
serial.
okay, so
Sure.
my question is,
Download
did they
exclusive
like
software for
plan to have a Pokemon Z? Whatever happened with that?
and why?
I
called Pokemon
think
Bank.
the answer is yes.
If you use Pokemon Bank,
But also,
you can put your Pokemon
at the
in a
time,
box that resides
they
on the
were
internet.
Game Freak was
and
getting
take
a
them out
little
as needed.
concerned about just being a
In
Pokemon
X
machine.
and Y, you can
So they
only store
had a
limited number
year
of
where they
Pokemon.
did a bunch
But
of
with
other
Pokemon
side
Bank,
stuff, and
you
that's
can
where
put
like
Pokemon
Harmo
in
Knight and
100
other
different
games like that
boxes.
came
That's
out,
3,000 total Pokemon
where
you can store
they
in
were
Pokemon
developing
Bank.
other side games as
Also,
opposed
you
to
can
a
easily
third
search for any
or maybe
Pokemon you need
double
from Pokemon
version of
Bank
Pokemon
with a variety
Z.
of search options.
Because, you know,
So
in
you
the
don't need to
anime,
worry
there's
about not
an
being able
additional
to
series
find
called
what you're
Pokemon
looking for,
XYZ
even if you have
that
many
adds all of
Pokemon
the
stored there.
Zygarde stuff that would later appear
For
in
those
Sun
who
and
want
Moon.
to collect
I
as many
imagine
different
it's the
kinds of
case,
Pokemon
but
as
it never got
possible,
far enough into
or someone who
development
wants
because
to
they were
train
trying to
many
do other
Pokemon for
side
battles
projects.
or tournaments. Pokemon Bank is the perfect
Also,
tool.
I think in between installments of Switch 2 Ultra, that
I
other
think what
Game
game
Freak,
came
that
out-
You can
PlayStation
transfer
Game Freak
Pokemon
game
that you
came out. I
collected
didn't
in
hear anything
Pokemon
about
Black,
it, but
Pokemon White, Pokemon Black.
I'm trying to think
2,
what
Pokemon
game
White
came.
2,
Okay, so
to
Pokemon X and
Pokemon
Y was
X and Y.
2013. Pokemon Oros was 2014. What
And
was
then X
what was
another
2015?
application
nothing
that works
came out in
I'm trying to remember
2015.
Pokemon
Sun and
Bank.
Moon was
Nothing?
16.
Called
That
Poke
would have
I
been
know
when it...
something was
Oh, wait, here
15.
we go.
When you use Poke Transporter with a Nintendo 3DS system,
Damn, this
with
is
Pokemon
how
Black,
serendipitous
Pokemon
this
White,
is.
Pokemon Black 2 or Pokemon White 2 in the card slot.
Can't
You
do
can
this
transfer
anymore.
Pokemon from your
Not as of
3DS
February
to your Pokemon
2027.
Bank box on the internet.
But yeah, like as someone who is a serial transferer, like any new generation
through
became my
Pokemon
hub.
Bank,
I transferred everything
You
up to
can
X
move
and
your
Y.
transferred Pokemon into
To
Pokemon
see my
X
Infernape in
and
3D for the
Pokemon
first
Y.
time.
For everyone who's played the Pokemon series for a long time, I'm sure
This
all
is
the
nuts.
Pokemon
These
that
are
you
all
have
the
trained
starters I
are
chose.
very
And I had
important
11.
to you.
Holy shit, these are all the starters I
So I
chose.
hope you can take them with you.
That's
my
fucking
God.
Are you
scary.
Are you sure this isn't from your game?
Yeah, wait, how did they do? And my Infernape was level 100, and it knew fucking Cut and Ember at level
You can
100.
download Poke Transporter as an add-on after downloading Pokemon Bank.
Wow. I guess you could
currently
transfer stuff in
developing
right
both
away. Because
with the
there were
goal
some that you
of making
couldn't
them
catch in
easy
X and Y, but
and
it still had a
convenient
national
for everyone
deck, so
to
it was the
use.
only way to complete it.
We'll release more information on the official Pokemon website as it becomes available.
Why are the images they're
please stay
using
tuned.
like lower quality than the stream? They probably got it off of a 3DS
Optional
screen.
services like Pokemon Bank and Poke Transporter will
Okay,
give you
Pokemon
the
Bank.
option to keep your Pokemon,
Alright,
which
keep your
were only stored on handheld systems in the past.
Also
correct?
really curious about the trio of Chikorita,
Yes,
Torchic, and
that's
Piplup
correct.
specifically. Are those just because those are the ones that are
several
categorized
years,
as like the girl ones?
We talked about a way Pokemon games could have a service that lets people put their Pokemon in the cloud.
That's
and
fucking
then-
nuts that this 20-minute
Oh.
direct is just the thing we talked about.
Oh man.
And it's gonna last
Conversation
forever.
I would go.
There's a vision
I would go in a
for the
circle
Pokemon
like that.
Yeah.
and Poke Transporter. And now
Show it to
it's
me.
becoming a reality.
I think everyone has Pokemon that they put their hearts
Everyone
into
has
training
Pokemon.
and eventually become stronger as their journey went on.
Man,
In
did
other
you ever
words,
fuck with
the
Pokemon?
save
What
data
was your
has
journey with the
best
games like?
memories for players.
Very short-lived. Did
So,
not like turn-based
when you think
games.
about
Oh, yeah.
I'm very
long-term relationships with our
action-oriented.
customers,
I need to, like,
We
to
thought
me,
we should have a
turn-based was like
service
just fancy chess,
that
you know,
let
with
customers
cutscenes.
Oh,
stay
he's
with
just like me for real.
So,
So you never got
I
into
could-
it as a
We
kid, or
talked
was it
about
like a
this
later
for
in
I
life?
played a
years
bit
or
of them.
so.
I had
Okay.
like Game Boy and Game Boy
And
Color, and I had like
finally, it's coming true.
Pokemon.
Probably gold and
Green?
silver, maybe crystal.
No,
Actually,
Green would
it
have
was
been
the early
nuts.
ones. Did
I
we
had
have
the
green?
opportunity to
Green
talk
was the
was
one that was
blue.
only
I had
released in
blue.
Japan. Blue,
I had
yeah.
blue. That's what it was.
As everyone knows,
Yeah.
That's
My
when it was
cousin
a
had
huge
red.
craze. Before that was when it was a
I
trend.
read her
Before it
book
actually became a
and was
franchise.
so surprised.
Right.
so
Yeah, I was
enthusiastic.
very much on the
Then,
first trend
at the
of
end of the
Pokemon.
interview,
Yeah.
And then
she told me that she wished
as
that I
time went
create
on,
something like
I
Pokemon
got
Go.
ADHD, so
She wanted her Pokemon
I was not going
that
to
she
stick with
trained to
that
be
trend
securely
long
stored
unless it was
and passed
doing
down to her
something
kids and grandkids.
different. And the show
And
was holding my attention for a
She
little, but
wanted
then I
something
saw
like Pokemon
that it's like,
Bang.
oh, this is
Because she
this
wanted the
nigga,
kids
this man
and
Ash is gonna keep
grandkids to
losing
remember
so
that
many
their
times.
grandma thought that old
Before
I
he
Charizard.
can't stand by this guy anymore. He's
Yeah,
washed.
I would get
yeah,
pissed at how
Tell her.
stupid Ash was in the show.
But now it's official.
Because they have that
We
like
are making
anime
Pokemon
protagonist
Bang.
stupidity for like kids
Yeah.
shows that just like drove me crazy.
Mr.
just dove
Masuda,
in sometimes.
did you agree with the idea of
All the-
making such a service a
He just-
reality?
Yeah, Ash was my goat, but at the same time, it's
I've
like, man,
also
it
had
took
the
you a
concept
minute.
of
Like,
Yeah.
Pokemon
finally
Bang
seeing him
for a long
actually
time.
win
So,
the championship.
agree.
Oh yeah, in that
Finally, I was
original
like,
series,
damn,
he,
it
like,
took
he
you a
it
minute.
almost seems like he doesn't know what Pokemon is.
I wanted to collect all
Nah,
the Pokemon
yeah.
Well, you
Now,
were,
like,
you
one of
were,
the
so long.
server
you were a
using a
90s kid,
mobile
right?
adapter in Pokemon
Yep.
Crystal.
Yeah, Pokemon hit those
My
90 kids like
idea
crack. Like
expanded
that,
from
that's
that
the
point on.
immediate, like that's tied to it. That and Nickelodeon, those are the things.
Now with the cloud,
Yep.
that can
Like
store all
Pokemon,
that
I was
data.
there. I was there for the
reliable
first movie when it
and
came
able to
out.
provide
I
customers
didn't get to see it in
with a
theaters
fun
because my
service
parents were like, "Hell
that's
no."
different from just
It's like,
We don't
man,
know
like,
what this
we,
is.
we don't know what it is. We don't care what it is, and you're not about to make us sit through it.
In
So
past
wait for the
Pokemon
VHS,
games,
which I
We
did.
did release software that let players
I remember
transfer
it
Pokemon,
being in the theaters, then the
such
second
as
one as
Pokemon
well,
Box,
third one,
Ruby and Sapphire,
like or pretty much
Nintendo
the
GameCube,
TV
Whoa.
which let
promos.
players store
Weird
Pokemon
Ruby and
from
Sapphire
the Game Boy
box shout
Advance
out.
Pokemon
This game
series.
goes for like $1,000 now.
$1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
A WiiWare
Jeez.
title,
Oh, I talked about
let
this in the
players
fucking
store Pokemon
Big 3
from the
video.
series released
Dude, my
for Nintendo
sister
DS,
fucked with my Pokemon Ranch. I remember
Pokemon
that.
Diamond and Pearl.
I knew that you could get a Mew if you transferred in
Pokemon
like
Bank,
999
a
Pokemon.
downloadable
And
tool
it was
for
already
the
linked to like my
3DS
Diamond version, which I had already
is a
transferred everything
paid
out of.
service
So
that
I had to
will
like
allow
use
players
Route
to
1
have
Mon that I could
secure
catch easily
and
to just get
convenient
999
access.
Bidoof and Kricketot and shit.
Did you talk about that in a video? I'm trying to
Yeah, in
remember.
the Big
It would
3.
be a
the
long-term
Chowder
Okay,
service
Flashback
yeah,
Total
that
Drama.
requires management.
Okay, yeah, because I'm thinking like, did he
of
tell
the
me that
system
in
to
a
store
show we
Pokemon.
did, or did he tell me
As
that
well
like
as
in a video?
compatibility
They
with
cross the
future
wires a
titles.
lot.
There will
I think I
be
talked about it.
an
I think I
annual
used a
fee.
clip from that video like the other day. Wow,
We will be
Pokemon
announcing
Bank.
more details
How
in the future.
fucking nuts this entire direct is basically that.
If
We
there's
still got
anything
time. We can
else
see the
that's new
gameplay.
to Pokemon X and Pokemon Y.
Because we only
Could
saw a
you
glimpse
share
of
it
the
with
box
us, Mr.
legendaries.
Masuda?
We don't actually know a whole lot about
Sure.
them. But yeah, the game
the
comes out in
past
a month.
Pokemon games,
in
The
this
story
time,
began
in period accurate
when
time.
the Pokemon professor let you choose one of 3 Pokemon. However, in Pokemon X and Y,
That was something too.
your
Is that
first partner Pokemon,
when I watched the
Chespin,
anime, I wanted to
Fennekin,
pick
or
Turtwig,
Froakie
but I
won't
legit
be
think I
given to you
couldn't
by the
read when I
professor,
started the
but
game.
by your friend
So
instead.
that bit where like it defaults
Then
to
you'll receive
Chimchar
a
and you
different
hit
Pokemon from the
A,
professor
and then it
later
says,
on.
"Do you want Chimchar? Yes or no?"
What you
I think I
get from
just
the
didn't get it, and I was
professor
like,
is
"Okay, I
one
guess
of the
I
partner
guess I get
Pokemon from the
Chimchar."
original
And then
Pokemon
you know,
Red
Infernape.
and
Oh,
Pokemon
this
Blue.
fucking shit. These aren't the starters.
Charmander.
Dude, it's. I think they really
either
took the
Chespin-
Gen
Dude,
1
get them out of here.
They
Fro-
give
like
them
straight
to
up
so
Pokemon X and
early
Y
in that
starters,
game.
Plus Bulbasaur,
Like I think they just.
Charmander.
I don't. I think it is.
There are even more secrets to
Because I
Mega
remember they
Evolution.
showed off the Mega
Maybe it
Mewtwo.
wasn't because
a
I'm
black
pretty sure
bracelet
they were like,
that a
yeah,
trainer
hinting Mega
wears called the
Mewtwo
Mega
like
Ring.
in the summer. So
But
I
people
don't
didn't
know.
know what Mega Evolution was, so I
occurs when
remember
the Mega
people called it
Ring that the
Mew
trainer
3.
wears.
They're like,
Yeah,
holy
no,
shit,
people
they're
were-
doing
they-
it.
they-
Pokemon possess it.
They showed Mewtwo
Connect with each
Y,
other.
and they were like, it's
In
connected
order
to
for this to
Mewtwo,
happen,
but we didn't know like what the
connection
fuck that
between
meant.
trainer
Right.
and
So
their
was it a new
Pokemon
Pokemon?
becomes
I think a
very
lot. I
important.
wasn't sure. I was assuming. I think I was on the
Mega
new form
Evolution is
theory,
said
but
to
I
be
didn't
the
know
biggest
like
secret
Yeah.
what that actually
Kalos region.
entailed.
I guess we're hearing it
where
for the first
Pokemon
time.
X and Y take
Fucking
place.
nuts to show off Mega
There are a lot
Evolutions
of
a
other
month before the
Pokemon
game
besides
comes out.
Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise.
Oh, and all
that
these
will have
fucking
Mega
forms. Yeah, there's
Evolutions.
Mega Mewtwo Y.
Such as
There's that-
Lucario
I wonder if
and
they had
Absol.
already said that, or if this is the first time that they had confirmed that it
Players can unlock
was a
all
Mega.
the secrets favorites by playing Pokemon X and Pokemon Y.
True.
It's pretty exciting to see mega evolutions of the first 3 Pokemon and have them go
Well,
beyond
technically,
their
they're
ultimate
not
state.
the first 3 Pokemon.
Yes, I hope everyone will feel the same.
It's Mew or Rhydon
It must
or
be really
Bulbasaur,
exhilarating
depending.
for people who enjoy
Or Arceus.
Pokemon Red and Blue,
That's true.
don't you think?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
we really want to appeal to people who liked red and
As a
blue.
player,
Have you noticed that the
It's
X and the
fun to
Y are
imagine
both
how
red
each
and
Pokemon
blue?
will turn out with Mega Evolution.
From like
I want to see what
2013 to
happens to every
2016.
single Pokemon.
This too, also.
how
they
will
didn't
all
show off
look
the
as
other
Mega
ones.
Evolutions.
But I think I said this on the show that when I
If you
played
think of
X and Y,
Charizard
I
as
picked
the ultimate form
Fennekin,
of the ultimate Pokemon,
and then I also picked
it will now
Charmander.
go beyond that.
And there
That's
was like an
interesting.
event happening at the time where you can get a Torchic with
Yeah.
a Mega
During a battle,
Blaziken. So my
think
team
there'll
for
be
like the beginning
a
of the
moment
game was
when a
Charmander,
player's
Torchic,
feelings
Fennekin.
seem to actually go
And then I
into the
also
game
grabbed a Fletchinder
and
from like the
combine with
first
their
round. So
Pokemon.
it was just those fire types like most of the
That's
time.
when Mega Evolution happens.
It's still so fucked up that they waited until
That was our
Legends
hope
ZA
while
to give
creating
the
these
main
games.
trio Megas.
And I believe we've done a good job of it. I'd like everyone to see and have fun with Mega Evolutions.
I don't think I will. I think I'm going to complain about this for the rest of time.
Well, as a regular final segment of Pokemon Direct, I'd like to ask you to say something to our audience. Why don't you start, Mr. Ishihara?
Say something.
Sure. I have so much to say about Pokemon X.
I like how at the
and
time this
Pokemon
is just
Y.
like Awada's weird
Because I'm
show.
pretty
Like
emotionally
Reggie was on
attached
it
to them.
sometimes, but it was definitely like, hey, you guys want to come on my thing and like talk to
Pokemon
my
X
fans?
and Y will be released globally on October 12th
Right.
in 7 different languages, which means you can select any language among the 7. We've always dreamed that these games would be released around the world on the same day.
At the same time.
And on October 12th,
I think this
I'll be
is...
happy to see this dream finally come
Fuck,
true.
there's stuff I learned recently about my Pokemon
Also,
stuff
as a
that I'm
player,
writing into a thing
I've
that
been
won't come out
Pokemon for a
while.
long time. And I feel like Mega Evolutions
Sometimes I censor
are the
myself, and
expression of
sometimes like
everything in
on
the
this show and
past.
Patreon, it's like,
So I'd
listen,
like
you're getting
everyone to
rewarded
experience Mega
if you
Evolutions
watch these
together.
with little teasers.
How about you, Mr. Masuda?
I know there were a lot of difficulties for my
Well,
staff
Masuda from the Method.
because this was the first time we had a global, simultaneous launch. And also, we made 3D models of all of the Pokemon. However,
the argument
difficulties
with Sword
were
and Shield
converted into
that
fun.
they're like, oh, we have to keep
And these
porting all these
games
3D
have
models.
a
They
lot
ended
of
up
it.
doing it anyway. So I really
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
the weird thing.
testing at
what that
Nintendo.
deal was. I guess they just like
I was in
Those
tears
games
a
were
little
probably
bit in front of my
rushed.
staff.
I wonder if
My
it's like
heart
just a balance thing.
and
'Cause
soul
I genuinely
are in
don't
these
know like
games
what the
that
big
much.
bottleneck was. I mean, maybe there still are like things you
I'd be
need to
really
do
happy
with all the
for
Pokemon that they just
everyone
wanted to
to
save the
enjoy
time
these
on.
games,
But I don't know.
because
I was
they're
always
where
surprised that they
my
wanted to get
world
rid of the
Pokemon
national decks
and
because
the world of Game Freak
I don't know. It seems like it's
converged
work,
together.
but I'm surprised it's
Thank
as
you.
much work as it is.
Yeah, I mean,
especially if
the-
you're just like
The game
reusing as
has
many
so
assets
much
as you
more
are.
depth
Yeah, you
in
said it
various
earlier. Like
aspects.
the appeal
And
of
I
the
like
series is
fact
that everyone has like
customers
their
will have
favorite,
a
and there's
lot
so
of
many
choices
different
when they play.
characters.
A player can enjoy playing with cute Pokemon thanks to Pokemon Ami, or
Right.
master the new styles of battles and think about the best
The
strategy.
new styles of
around
battles he's
a
referring to
brand new
Sky
type
battles.
of
I saw that
Pokemon.
Salamence 3D model
On the
earlier,
other hand,
where he's just
a
flying
player
there.
can also
When you
set a
make
goal
Dragonite
of
like
collecting
fly or
3,000
Charizard
Pokemon
fly
in the Pokemon Bank
just for a
Forever.
stupid fucking game mode that
so
sucks.
many ways
Yeah.
to play, and this is the Pokemon game that has fun for everyone. I hope that it will be the game that everyone can have fun with. Thank you so much for being here today.
I hope
Thank
this
you.
game is fun.
Me
Dude,
too.
I don't want
Today we
my
delivered you Nintendo
developer
Direct in
saying
a little
that.
bit of a different
The
manner.
director of the
How was
game
it?
being like, "Oh, I hope it's
It's so
fun."
humble. It really is
I
just
hope
so
you think
humble.
it's fun.
We
Dude,
released
look at my
Pokemon
lawyer
X
dog.
and
I'm going to
Pokemon
jail.
Y to everyone in the world.
You should
So please
know.
hang
I hope you
tight
think
a
I'm.
little bit
I
longer.
hope you don't think I'm
looking
guilty.
I hope
forward to
guys.
it too.
I hope you guys like it. I worked really hard on
As
it.
you may also be aware, we have announced a special Pokemon X and Y themed Blue Nintendo 3DS XL system for Japan.
Is it
Today,
just blue?
I'd also like to announce
Okay.
that this same special edition Blue system, as well as this
There we-
special
okay, yeah, I
edition
was gonna
Red
say.
Nintendo 3DS
Like,
XL
only
system,
blue, that'd be
will
crazy.
be released on the 27th of September
many
in
individual
North America
directs.
and Europe. For more details,
We're almost out of
please visit the
2013.
official
We're
website.
dragging it along.
Thank you for watching.
There's no way that's all he said. Well, that was the Pokemon Direct of September
That was
4th,
fun.
2013. It wasn't as bad as the Wonder Red one. There's multiple in September. I forgot that so much of watching the directs in order is like a predominant. Once we get to the Switch era, that's when stuff's really gonna start heating up. But we are still a ways away.
It wasn't
from
until
that.
Smash 4 where I think Nintendo really started caring about the way they pace directs. Like, I don't think they really gave
100%.
Yeah.
But Smash 4 has already been announced with characters. We're just waiting to hear anything more.
That's true, but I think the culture of like Nintendo Direct hype took like a year or two to really kind of find its footing. So I think at this point, like, they just didn't do. Well, I mean, to be fair, these are also like specialized directs, so it's different anyway. But I think it probably wasn't until 2014 where like the modern Nintendo Direct started to take shape.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are still a ways away from that then, as we continue to do our segments of that and going through the Smash roster and individual stories we get from each week. Thank you, man, for joining us for this one to help guide us through Kingdom Hearts. We also extended it a little farther and got to have Dan on this. Dan, what's the prognosis? Are you still going to be off next week, and then the week after we move the
Yes,
date?
I will not be here next week, but I will be here the week after. And that is when we're doing it. The new time, new day, new time.
Miss all of the thrilling Captain Falcon revamp. While you're gone, we're gonna change it entirely. We're gonna make it an entirely.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Well, before we end off here, can I say one, where everyone is on the internet, you know, your plugs, and also what everyone's working on.
I'm like halfway through editing, or a little bit less halfway through editing a video about 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that.
The people love 16. I can't wait to see it.
Right. Preparing a review for Coyote versus Acme when that drops.
Ooh,
cool.
See, that's
baby.
I think that's what
well.
not to keep getting into it, but that's sort of what the shorts, the like vertical style shorts video does benefit from, is like immediately covering something as soon as it comes out.
I was glad I talked about the leak, the total drama leak, because like it was speedy, but I think, you know, I got like 100K views on it on Instagram.
Yeah, and that's why I love the man shorts, is like sometimes just so I know what's happening, sometimes there'll be cartoons that I just have no clue what they are. And the short will be like, listen, everyone's talking about this right now. I'm like, what am I looking? Who are these animals and why do they want to fuck each other? I don't understand what this is.
Glad you watched that.
Oh no, I keep up with all the shorts. It's how I keep up with my cartoons. Dan, what's in the pipeline for you?
I have been very busy the past few weeks, just with dealing with getting ready for school and moving and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've come to a decision, not like in regards to like canceling anything, but I've come into a decision in regards to how I want to release certain things. I'm hoping that by the end of September, things will start moving in regards to getting that release schedule out. And it starts with getting this big thing off my back.
Mm-hmm. The big backpack full of books for school.
Oh, for sure. That's exactly what it is.
Gotta throw it to the side. And I never like to lock in release dates, even though like I care a whole lot about like days specifically. It's like weird hang-ups where like, no, it needs to be this day because this is the anniversary of this or whatever. I wish I could just work on stuff until it's finished. However, there has never been a more important day. One of the first, if not the first video in this new era of videos that people were watching was a video I released September 2nd, 2021 to celebrate Adult Swim's 20th anniversary. And I'm hoping to do the same thing for its 25th on September 2nd, 2026. That's the plan right now. It's really long, and it's been slowing my computer to shit, but the hope is that I get that out on that day. And then we'll go back to the Nudes trilogy, presumably at the end of September. That's what I got in the pipeline right now. But at least for today, thank you all for being here. I have been your co-parent, BHultra.
And I've been your co-parent, Switchy.
And I've been your Uncle Dan.
I've been your uncle.
And you were also here, man.
And Funkle Man.
Yep. Funkle Man, yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to hang up. Later. What a great show we just did. Hey, did you know if you're on the BHultra YouTube channel right now that I will be streaming 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Total Tomodachi Island. That's not normally how I say it. All right, listen to the music. I've had to pee for like an hour, but I was like, there wasn't an appropriate time to get up and...